as part of your summer plans. Open a First Harvest Credit Union 15-month share or IRA certificate and earn 3.75% annual percentage yield. Or choose an 18-month option and earn 3.6% annual percentage yield. Explore all your options at firstharvestcu.com/certificates, including our growth savings and growth checking accounts. Membership restrictions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
Are you ready for the biggest 80s event of 2026? Howard Jones presents Things Can Only Get Better Tour with additional full sets by Wang Chung, English Beat, Modern English, and hosted by Richard Blade. Friday, August 14th, Borgata Hotel, Casino and Spa. Tickets on sale now at theborgata.com. Just when you thought it couldn't get any bigger, things can only get better.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter.
Maybe it's time to take a fresh look at everything we thought we knew about landing a great job. For instance, what if phenomenal careers start at the middle school science fair instead of at the job fair? If being the captain of the robotics team means just as much on a college application as being captain of the football team. And if knowing the quadratic formula is every bit as important as knowing the right people. Well, the fact is, the jobs of the future will be heavily geared towards science, technology, engineering, and math. In other words, the future is STEM. More opportunities, better pay. And the road to these great jobs starts as early as middle school. So if you're a student, talk to your school counselor about STEM. If you're a parent, talk to your kids. Because the job you'll get in the future may very well depend on what you do today. A public service message from America's Navy.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. At the White House today, President Trump hosted Iraq's prime minister for talks within another day of tensions in the Middle East and the U.S. and Iran launching strikes, for the president announcing he's backing away from his proposed 20% toll for cargo ships in the Strait of Hormuz to protect ships. The president says instead the U.S. will get paid through what he calls trade deals. The U.S. had previously opposed Iran charging a fee.
I don't think anybody should be really in that position, but we were doing it as a reimbursement. The Gulf states are going to invest a tremendous amount of money into the United States, and that was very satisfactory to me. I think it's actually much better.
On the Senate floor moments ago, a swearing-in ceremony for Darlene Graham, the sister of the late Senator Lindsey Graham, to carry out the remainder of his term. Senator Chuck Grassley reading the oath of office.
Do you solemnly swear that you will support
Graham's current term ends in January. New York's Attorney General announced her state, along with bipartisan coalition of 42 attorneys general, have reached an $18 million settlement with 23andMe to protect consumers' private genetic data. That stems from a massive breach in 2023 impacting nearly 7 million consumers. The deal also secured new data protection requirements. In Biddeford, Maine, the man who was fatally shot yesterday by a federal agent during an immigration operation has been identified by Senator Angus King's office as Johann Sebastian Guerrero. ABC's Victor Oquendo is on scene.
Maine Senator Angus King saying the 26-year-old was not the intended target.
The question is, what did he do with his vehicle? Were officers threatened? Were the threats rising to the level that justified deadly force?
King says he was told none of the agents involved were wearing body cameras.
Homeland Security Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen directed law enforcement to temporarily halt vehicle stops in Maine and Texas. You're listening to ABC News.
Of all the wireless companies in America, only one has 5 stars in every category from Consumer Reports, and that company is Pure Talk. Coverage, support, value, data. 5 stars across the board. Plus, no service contracts and no cancellation fees. Just phenomenal U.S. customer service on a crazy fast 5G network. Dial pound 250, say micro, and switch to a 5-star American wireless company that won't let you down. Pure Talk.
Ever wonder why you have insurance for your car or home, but not your digital life? Meet WebRoot Total Protection, your digital bodyguard that includes antivirus, identity protection, VPN, cloud backup, and more. With plans for individuals and families, WebRoot takes the guessing game out of cybersecurity so you can get back to living your best life online. Go to webroot.com/protect and get 60% off today. That's webroot.com/protect to get 60% off today. Live a better digital life with WebRoot, because peace of mind shouldn't be optional.
New York Governor Kathy Hochul has approved a statewide one-year moratorium on the construction of AI data centers. Hochul, who is facing re-election in the fall, says the pause will help give New York time to build a regulatory framework at a time tech companies are pushing into more communities without the necessary protections for residents and businesses, she says, paying utilities and the environment.
These companies have decided that they would sort of flood the zone. All over America, they're putting in more and more applications.
New York is the first state to usher in a moratorium on building data centers. Writer E. Jean Carroll has received more than $5 million as part of a civil judgment paid by Donald Trump.
3 years after a jury found Donald Trump liable for sexually abusing and defaming E. Jean Carroll, her lawyer on Tuesday confirmed she received more than $5.6 million from the president. Trump has long fought to challenge the jury's finding, including unsuccessfully asking the Supreme Court to intervene, but a judge last week ordered that the money be transferred to Carroll after Trump fully exhausted his appeals. Carroll is still owed an additional $83 million from Trump for a separate defamation judgment, though Trump continues to appeal that case. Peter Haralambous, ABC News, New York.
And then there were 4, the semi-final World Cup match between France and Spain kicking off this hour from Dallas Stadium. France looking for a victory on this Bastille Day. Earlier in Paris, a military parade celebrating the holiday of the key prison uprising. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Of all the wireless companies in America, only one has 5 stars in every category from Consumer Reports, and that company is Pure Talk. Coverage, support, value, data. 5 stars across the board. Plus, no service contracts and no cancellation fees. Just phenomenal U.S. customer service on a crazy fast 5G network. Dial pound 250, say micro, and switch to a 5-star American wireless company that won't let you down. Pure Talk.
Weather sponsored by the Piazza Auto Group.
Overnight, we'll get down to a very sticky 76. Tomorrow, we're expecting the high to hit 100. There will be a little bit of a breeze, but not exactly refreshing. Thursday, high 95, partly sunny. And Friday, still in the 90s, partly sunny, but a little less humid.
During the Nissan Summer Sales Event, get 0% financing for 60 months on the 2026 Rogue, Murano, Pathfinder, and Frontier. Visit Piazza Nissan of Ardmore or shop online at piazzanissan.com today.
Hey, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the Piazza Auto Group are looking to adopt a local animal shelter, and it could be yours.
You know, our friends at Piazza Auto Group believe in giving back to the communities they serve. For years, they've supported local animal shelters that work tirelessly every day to rescue, rehabilitate, and adopt homeless animals.
And we're looking for one deserving shelter to become the beneficiary of our year-round fundraising efforts, donation drives, community outreach, adoption events, and on-air support to help provide much-needed resources, all to help more animals find loving forever homes.
If you're a decision maker, volunteer, or staff member at an animal shelter or rescue organization in Philadelphia or the suburbs, we'd love to hear from you. Visit 1210wpht.com/Piazza Pets and tell us why your shelter should be selected as our partner.
Because when a community comes together, amazing things happen. Piazza Auto Group. Just visit 1210wpht.com/Piazza Pets.
WPHT, HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Piazza Auto Group Studios, experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Free speech lives here. The WPHT Afternoon Show.
307 Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Casey Bartholomew. I'll be with you until 6. That's when Rich Dioli comes in. 855-839-1210 is our number here. That's 855-839-1210. As you just heard during the news, ICE shot somebody else who tried to murder them because it's against the rules, might even be against the law, to try to murder an ICE agent. Colombian national was shot dead on Monday while trying to mow down ICE officers in Maine. I don't know why. I don't know why it always has to come to this. I don't know why we have to specify. And I don't know why we constantly have to remind stupid people that you're not allowed to hit law enforcement with your car. It's naughty. Don't do it. And if you do, that is the nanosecond that I cease giving any damns. But you thought I was going to say something else, didn't you? That I cease giving any damns about you, your life, what you do, how you got here, what your status is. If you were a 100% American-born American citizenship and you tried to run down a police officer, I wouldn't care if they shot you. I'm really busy. I have a limited amount of bandwidth. So I'm not going to waste my time caring about people who try to murder cops. Video showed the mortally wounded man being dragged from his car. He more fell out. It's kind of dead. So, and he fell to the ground, and then he was cuffed. And there's a lot of people. Why did you cuff him? You shot him. You cuffed the poor man. That's sad. They have to cuff. I've interviewed tons of cops in my life, and they don't know if you have a gun. They don't know what's going on. You're on the ground. Honestly, I doubt he was bothered by being cuffed. He had bigger things on his mind. But people were mad about that, so he got cuffed because they have to make sure he's not armed. He already tried to kill them once. He already tried to murder them once. We're going to give him another chance? Murdering cops is not like a 1 strike, 2 strike, 3 strike. Just don't do it. And because if we get you, we're going to stop you. Now, the chaos unfolded as ICE was surveilling the last known address of an illegal alien with a deportation order in Bidford at around 7 a.m. This is according to DHS. Around that time, an illegal alien fled the home in a car and immigrated. I guess he had papers. I guess he was legal to work here. He had a social security number, all that stuff. But they're saying an illegal alien fled the home in a car, and immigration officers gave chase, attempting to pull the man over. But the man tried to flee, and an ICE officer opened fire, striking the driver, which we will forget 2 months from now. We will remember Renee Good in Minneapolis. Now she's a martyr. Everybody forgets she tried to murder a police officer. She tried to murder an ICE agent. Again, frowned upon. That's a big no. Don't do it. And she learned the same lesson that this idiot did. Don't try to kill ICE agents. They are law enforcement, and they are doing their job legally. DHS said in a statement the vehicle attempted to flee the scene, and fearing for public safety, an officer discharged his weapon. Public safety, his safety, whatever the case, I don't care what. You're not allowed to run from ICE agents. Have we not learned that it is a bad idea to try to flee from ICE agents? Because when you try to flee, well, we kind of found out what happened, didn't it? They go on to say the driver of the vehicle was struck. Yep. And emergency services were immediately contacted. He passed away from his injuries because he tried to murder an ICE agent. The Colombian national was identified by neighbors as 26-year-old. Is it Joan? Is his name Joan? Joan? Is that Johan or something? And I'm asking seriously. I'm just trying to be a jerk. I'm asking seriously. So it makes me sad. Speaking as a man who grew up with kind of a girl's name, Casey, that bothers me. Doesn't mean I'm happy that he died, but I don't care. 26-year-old, let's say Johan, because I want to. Johan Sebastian Guerrero, who lived with his wife and infant daughter Well, I guess if you have a wife and an infant daughter, you shouldn't. Anybody? But we should have prizes. We should not try to murder the ICE agents. Officials had not formally named the driver Monday night. Senator Angus King, an independent who's really a Democrat out of Maine, said hours after the shooting that Homeland Security Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen told him the shot man was the target of the warrant. King later said Mullen corrected that and told him that there was no warrant out on the man. So they're trying to make it sound like they don't know what's going on. Mullen wasn't there. I've interviewed Mark Wayne Mullen a lot. I worked in Tulsa for a while, and I interviewed him multiple times. A good guy. They're not trying to trick any senators, don't worry. Graphic footage on social media, which is the best place to find graphic footage, showed the shot man lying by the side of the road near his car with a bullet hole visible through the driver's side of the front windshield after he attempted to murder police. They shot him, and they shot him through the windshield. And he didn't have a James Bond car, so his windshield was not bulletproof. Officers in green vests surrounded the car and drew their weapons at the driver, who appeared to drive directly at them, according to an eyewitness named Lucas Scott. Hear that again. According to an eyewitness, someone who was actually there and saw what happened. Not somebody who sat at home and married their cute little sign, melt ice, ice is illegal, ice kidnap, whatever nonsense they make. Not someone like that who showed up later so that they could be on the TV. These were people, this was a guy who was actually there and saw it happen. Lucas Scott said the car was put into drive and was trying to hit the ICE officer. I wonder what would happen if you drove a 2,000-pound car at a human being. I wonder what would happen to that human being. I think that'd kill him up but good. And I think you know that if you get behind the wheel of a car, that if you hit somebody, you could kill them. So again, right now, I will shed no tears for the Colombian national who was here apparently legally. He had a work permit, has a social security number, but that doesn't mean, I looked it up before we came on the air because I was curious, because I'm a natural-born citizen. I was born in this country. Even if you are here legally, you're not allowed to kill ICE agents. It is a faux pas that is often frowned upon, as it should be. But anyway, Scott again said the car was put into drive and was trying to hit the ICE officer, adding that an agent fired roughly 4 shots in response. Scott said, I just heard the popping, but I did see him draw his gun. Ring camera footage from a nearby house captured the sound of 5 or 6 gunshots. He probably only heard one. But anyway, 5 or 6 gunshots at the time. Another witness described seeing the driver get out of the car, bleeding profusely from his head. Nearby resident Danielle Boucher said, I tried to stop. Well, you've got an eyewitness saying you were attempting to murder the ICE agent. You've got ICE agents surrounding your car. You put the car in gear. When was it that you were trying to stop? Was it after they shot? Was it after you tried to murder the ICE agent or before you tried to murder the ICE agent? Think quickly. The timing is everything. He tried to stop after he got shot, I'm sure. The driver was authorized to work in the U.S. He had been issued a Social Security number. This is according to a group called Presente Maine. I love it when they give Hispanic or any foreign country names to groups in the country. But they're a Portland, Maine-based aid organization. The organization said in a joint statement with the Maine Immigrants' Rights Coalition, he was a member of our community, a neighbor, and a human being whose life was cut tragically short. Better him than the ICE agent that he was trying to murder. I love the mindset of people. We saw the same thing in Minneapolis with Renee Good. I love the mindset. Well, if you're an ICE agent, you just have to let yourself be murdered. If you're an ICE agent, you have to let them kill you. That's part of the job. I don't think anybody would sign up for that job. I don't think anybody would want to do that job. Yeah, so you've got all your paperwork in order. You've got everything's good. Yeah, we get, the job pays this. One more thing, just a small thing. If anybody tries to drive your car at you or murder you in any way, you just have to let them. Those are the rules. That's just the way we see it now. You're just an inanimate object. We don't care. I love the he was a community member. He was a neighbor, and he was a human being. What are the ICE agents? Are they not community members? Are they not fathers, husbands, wives? Or do they not care? Again, I'm trying to say. But the idiot group went on to say, we extend our deepest condolences to his family, loved ones, and everyone now grieving this unimaginable loss. It's not unimaginable. I can imagine it. I can imagine somebody trying to murder a law enforcement officer being killed. I can imagine that all day long if I have to. Sometimes I get hungry. I have to go get something to eat because I don't care what happens to them. But, unfortunately, yeah, deepest condolences to the family, sure. But your idiot loved one tried to kill a member of law enforcement. So when that happens, they're going to go boom on you. Now, locals reported seeing an increase in ICE activity in Bidford in the recent weeks. So they knew ICE was around. They just decided to still try to kill him. According to Bidford resident Larry Humiston, has told the Portland Press-Herald, they chased down a bunch of guys working on a roof down the street a week or two ago. They all ran. I saw one guy jump off the roof to get away. They left all their equipment on the top of the roof. Yeah, because they're illegal aliens. And they're afraid to get deported back to where they came from, and they don't think the rules and the laws of this country apply to them. Oh, and again, but you know what? I'd like to point something out here. So ICE was active in that area, and they were active in that area last week, they say? Yeah, they chased last week. They chased a bunch of guys off the roof. Okay, none of those guys tried to murder the ICE agent. You see how none of those guys were killed because they didn't try to murder? ICE didn't just drive up and start picking off illegal aliens. No. Because that's not what they do. The only idiots who get killed are the idiots who try to murder ICE agents. That's what happens. Now, Bidford Police Department confirmed in a statement that the shooting involved ICE personnel and said it had responded to calls about the incident, adding that the force's only involvement now is in scene security. I love the way they do that now. It's like we're verifying that we did receive the phone call. All we're doing now is sitting around and making sure that everything goes. Don't be mad at us. Don't try to murder us. All we're doing is making sure everybody's safe. We don't want to get murdered. They apparently murder the ICE agents, I guess. Crowds gathered at the scene of Monday's shooting, carrying their anti-ICE placards. Again, the eyewitness who was there when it happened said that the guy put the car in drive and was going to try to mow him down. That's what he said. The one who was there. Again, not the crafters who are sitting at home. Oh, goody. Goody, there was a shooting. I get to make a sign now and get on CNN. There you go. Now, Maine officials blasted immigration authorities in the aftermath of the shooting. With Maine's Secretary of State, Shenna Bellows, promising that she'd remain tough on ICE in her follow-up to the shooting. So they're blasting immigration officials. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine our own government, if you got shot, and our own government blaming you for it? Why were you standing where they were shooting? You should have dodged them. Can you imagine that? Because that's what's happening here. Secretary of State of Maine, I will remain tough on ICE. How tough can the Secretary of State be? Of a state, I mean, of the country, it's a big deal. The Secretary of State of a state is like, okay, stand over there to vote and do. That's basically what they do. But she's going to remain tough on them. Bellows went on to say, this man was their neighbor. Their kids play on that street and in the park where we gathered. I wonder if there would be the same sadness if he had succeeded in murdering the ICE agent. Because, again, I keep going back to that. I know I sound like a broken record, but I keep going back to that. A lot of sympathy, a lot of anger towards ICE. All they did was shoot a guy who was trying to kill him up, but good. So I don't understand. I don't get the anger. They go on to say, the idiot goes on to say, I think everyone who let ICE and Trump, gotta mention Trump. Was Trump in Maine? Trump wasn't in Maine. Said, I think everyone who let ICE and Trump deploy these men on the streets needs to be held accountable. I will hold them accountable. Somebody tried to kill you, so you shot him? Good job. My investigation is done. Would you like to hear my results? Don't try to murder an ICE agent. Maine Governor Janet Mills also called the incident disturbing and infuriating. Not because the guy tried to murder an ICE agent, but because he didn't succeed. That's what they're mad about. Okay, the guy who tried to murder the ICE agent got shot. They're mad because the guy who tried to murder the ICE agent failed. Mills goes on to say, it underscores the reckless and haphazard manner in which immigration enforcement operations are being conducted in Maine and across the country. This has to end. Well, again, the guy doesn't try to murder the cop. He is still alive. He's probably not even deported. He's got a work visa. He's got a Social Security card. There was no issue with this guy. He wasn't the target of the investigation. He tried to murder an ICE agent. It's like you present them with the facts, and they don't want to look at it. This guy tried to kill an ICE agent. That is why he is dead. He is not dead because Donald Trump is the president. He's not dead because ICE was in the area. He's dead because he tried to murder someone. And I don't care where his kids play. Again, would we have the same crocodile tears? Because they are fake tears. This is nothing but politics, right? They don't care about this guy. They don't care that his family is without their... They don't care that he's dead. All they care about is that it happened. All they care about is that it happened, and now they get some FaceTime. Everybody wants to... Who is the jackass mayor of Minneapolis? Can't remember his name. The guy who tried the Sonny Crockett 5 o'clock shadow and the wavy hair. Jacob Fry. I don't like him. My wife liked when he was on the screen. Everybody wants to be the next Jacob Fry. So they can get their FaceTime and get interviewed by Jake Tapper and be all over CNN. And ICE needs to get the F out of our city and look like really tough and unshaven. It's magical. But they want their moment. And now Governor Mills and the Secretary of State, they're all vying to be the next Jacob Fry so they can be on screen. But again, I feel the need to point out, again, because they refuse to acknowledge the reality of what happened. ICE was there, okay? Regardless of why they were there or regardless of whether or not you agree with it, they were there. They were surrounding your car. You do not now get to try to murder them. That's not how the laws are written. You don't get to try to kill them. You have to obey their commands, stop your car, get out of the car. You don't get to try to kill them. Again, eyewitness saw it. You can whine and cry all you want. Eyewitness saw it. Even dummy in New York City, the mayor, Mom Damalama Ding Dong, said, ICE is killing our neighbors. ICE cannot be reformed. Abolish ICE. The DHS Inspector General is going to investigate the shooting. Not much to investigate. You got eyewitnesses. And you got a corpse. But you got an eyewitness, so that's all you need to have. Now, ICE has said that they've stopped, for the moment, they have stopped car pulling over cars and the like. They're going to stop doing that for right now. I honestly think it's because people are trying to kill them with cars. I don't think they're worried about what they might do. I trust an ICE agent more than I trust somebody who's trying to flee an ICE agent. I mean, I don't know how we look at all this, any of it. I don't know how you look at this and blame ICE. I wasn't there. I'm going by eyewitness accounts. People who were there. People who do not have a horse in this race. A guy was there, said he tried to run down the police. It doesn't matter what you think about where his kids play. I don't even think that matters in police investigations. I don't think you got homicide detectives sitting there going, all right, we got fingerprints, we got a gun. Bob, do you know where his kids played? They play in a park? Damn it. Well, I guess we're going to have to blame the shooter. No, that's not the way it works. Doesn't matter where the kids play. Doesn't matter if he was a nice guy. Doesn't matter if he lived in the neighborhood. You know, all murderers live in a neighborhood. All murderers live in a community. So when they get up there and they make those, he was a member of our community. Yeah, all murderers are members of communities. That's the way it works. If you live someplace, you're a member of that community. So it's like they have nothing to stand on now. It is the same thing as Renee Good. Renee Good, you remember, she got shot, and they were, because she was trying to run her car or minivan, whatever it was, over an ICE agent, and they shot her, as they should have. I don't want anybody to die. No matter how you think I sound, I don't want anybody to die, but I do want people to obey the law, and I do not have a problem when people get shot. But when Renee Good, it was like, oh, look at this angle. If you look at this angle and you kind of close one eye and then you pretend not to notice what's going on, he obviously just killed her for the sake of killing. And what we're going to get at this, we've got activists out there who weren't there. We've got politicians out there who weren't there. All claiming that ICE is wrong. This guy's the member of the community. Nobody should ever do this. And we've got an eyewitness. Something we don't really always have. We've got an eyewitness saying X happened. So that means that the ICE agent was justified. But again, nobody cares about that. That's not the thing we worry about. That's not what we're sitting here trying to figure out. We don't care if ICE is justified. What the ICE agent should have done, apparently in the eyes of Janet Mills, the governor of Maine, and the eyes of all the illegal alien rights advocates, which sounds weird to say out loud, but they exist, in the eyes of the independent/Democrat senator from Maine, in the eyes of the Secretary of State of Maine, what the ICE agent should have done is seen that the immigrant was trying to run him down with a car, and instead of having him, sully his car, maybe dent something, he should have taken out his own gun and shot himself. Because that's the only thing you can do. We're all only supposed to help the immigrants, and when the immigrants try to kill us, we should assist them and take our own lives, I guess is what the case. So I don't know if you think ICE was wrong here. If you're tired of hearing all the whining and the damn activists and the crocodile tears that are coming out and all the politicians who weren't there and all the idiots who want to get on TV who are making signs and rushing out to the street as soon as they see a TV camera, by the way, doing all that stuff, or do you believe the eyewitness who saw the guy try to mow the ICE agent down with his car, which would have killed the ICE agent? ICE agent shot an attempted murderer. That's all that happened. There's no reason to pretend to be sad about it. 855-839-1210 is the number here. My name is Casey Bartholomew. You're listening to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hi, this is Larry Steinhaus, and I want to let you know that I buy houses. I buy houses from people that may be a tired landlord, maybe somebody who's having trouble selling their house, or maybe someone who needs to sell their house quickly. Well, all you need to do is call 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137, and I promise to answer the phone and help you with your situation. That's right, your house may be cluttered. It may be a house that a relative left you, or it may just be a house you just want to get rid of. 855-939-1137.
PNC Bank loves an exciting game, but they also think a little boring can go a long way. You see, boring banking means you're doing the right things. That's why PNC leaves the third and long to the professionals. Reliable fiscal strategies are more in their zone anyway. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Experience matters, especially when you're making an investment in your next vehicle. At Lexus of Cherry Hill, they've built their reputation the right way. Veteran and family-owned and operated, and recognized as an 8-time J.D. Power dealer of excellence for the customer sales experience. From the refined Lexus RX to the powerful and capable GX, you'll find performance, luxury, and reliability in every model. Visit Lexus of Cherry Hill in Mount Laurel or lexusofcherryhill.com. Lexus of Cherry Hill, doing business the right way. For J.D. Power of excellence information, visit jdpower.com/US-DOE.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, It can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At Supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to Supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's Supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mary Claire Haver, a board-certified OBGYN and menopause specialist. My new podcast, Unpaused, is the place for bold, unfiltered conversations about what it really takes for women to thrive in the second half of life. Every week, I sit down with medical experts, cultural icons, and powerhouse women to talk about what really matters. New episodes drop every Tuesday. Listen to and follow Unpaused with me, Dr. Mary Claire Haver, available now wherever you get your podcasts.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Ethos.
Reddit says it's using artificial intelligence to detect spam posts and comments that are used by marketing firms. Reddit calls it stealth marketing, in that the spam posts are picked up by chatbots like ChatGPT and Claude, with the comments then used to formulate answers, with Reddit considered the most cited domain in AI search. The social media firm says it's detecting about 25,000 spam posts and comments a day. I'm Jason Brooks.
If you own a business, you've heard it all. From fast funding to easy approvals, everyone says the same thing. LendSeek is different. We show you what you actually qualify for. LendSeek's AI-enabled platform matches you with funding options with no guesswork. Up to $5 million in as fast as 24 hours. If you've been in business over a year, doing at least $50,000 per month, apply for free with zero out-of-pocket costs and access to over 100 lenders. Start ready, stay ready. LendSeek.com. LendSeek.com.
You don't need another opinion, just the facts.
What caused that crash on the Schuylkill? Will it rain before the kids' game? What happened at the school board meeting last night?
At KYW News Radio, we don't take sides. We take notes, delivering the information you need to make the best decisions for your family.
The news you need whenever you need it.
Depend on KYW News Radio, Philadelphia's most trusted news leader for more than 60 years.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Tune in to the Crash Proof Retirement Show Saturdays at 11 a.m. to hear Joanne Small-Canella and Tracy Stillman. The Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturday mornings at 11 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT from the Piazza Auto Group studios. Experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations.
.336 Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Casey Bartholomew. I'll be with you until 6 o'clock. Stick around after 6. That's when Rich the Oldie comes on. 855-839-1210 is our number. That's 855-839-1210. There is a 74-year-old man. Well, is he a man? Murderer. There's a 74-year-old murderer set to be executed tonight, in Florida, which would not even make him the oldest man ever executed. I think we should go for that. I think we should all be shooting for that distinction, but or try to get the next one. But either way, he's 74 years old. He's going to be put to death, and now a lot of people are whining, saying that he's too old to be executed. He's 74 years old, and he is too old to be executed. Mind you, he didn't check and see if his victims were too old or too young or anything like that. So we're supposed to care about him, but we don't. The last prisoner that was strapped to a table in Florida's death chamber, a lot of this happens in Florida, was 74 years old. The oldest the state has executed in modern times. The next two in Florida that are set to die are older still. Series of executions due to be carried out by the end of the month. July is going to be a bad month in Florida for old people. That's all I'm going to tell you. It highlights the nation's aging death row population. Well, then we need to get going. The problem isn't the old people. The problem isn't the elderly people who are being put to death. The problem is the appeals process where they go on and on and on and on and on. And suddenly these guys are 74, 75, 8, and in one case 80 years old. One of Florida's prisoners scheduled to die in July later this month is a man who was convicted of killing his ex-girlfriend's parents in 1986, 40 years ago. He's 80 years old, and he would be only the second known octogenarian to be executed in the United States. And people are already crying, he's 80 years old. Yeah, he murdered two people. He is 82 years old, but he's not a nice 82. It's not like an 82-year-old at the park throwing breadcrumbs to the pigeons. He's a murderer. All right, there's no sympathy to be had, but there are some that cause problems. It renews questions about the humanity. I like how they try to get us to have humanity. I like how they get us to try to be humane about murderers, about people who killed other human beings. That's problematic to me. But anyway, for some, it renews questions about the humanity of administering capital punishment to inmates who might soon die from natural causes. But for others, it just highlights the point that our death row, our death penalty system is messed up. And we don't do enough to make it happen. 40 years this guy's been on death row. Or at least he committed his crime 40 years ago. He was convicted in 1986. So 40 years he's been there. And I wanted to ask you, and I really would like to hear what you have to say about this. So give me a call, 855-839-1210. But I would like to know if you think there is some people can be too old to execute, that we should show, what was the word you used? Humanity. I'm not familiar with that. But anyway, humanity, sympathy, whatever, for scumbags who have committed murder just because they're old. Just because I don't know I honestly don't know what the rationale is here. And I've read it. I've looked at it. They're going to die of natural causes anyway. No, you don't get to decide. That decision has been made. And this decision was made 40 years ago. I don't know how the anti-death penalty freaks got into the system and allowed that all to linger around for years and years and years, but that's where we are. So we've got tonight a 74-year-old man. By the way, it's in Florida. Florida has kind of a unique situation. The governor is the one who makes the decision of who dies and when. All right? They're put on death row, but there is no rhyme or reason. Once appeals are done, once appeals are exhausted, it is the governor who sits down and goes, that one. And that guy gets put to, and the governor sets the date, and then those people are put to death, on that date. I was going to say right then. It's not the way. They don't walk in with a gun and put two in the back of your ear. That you got to go. You still got to go through the process. But it is the governor. So right now, this guy is 74. He's going to be put to death tonight. And people are waiting for Governor DeSantis in Florida to make the decision to give the guy clemency. Just commute his sentence to life in prison until he dies. They're waiting for the guy who decided this year. He didn't even decide that long ago. It was earlier this year that he was going to be put to death on July 14th. And they're sitting there going, we just want the governor to make the right decision here. The governor has already made the right decision. According to Reverend Dustin Fedon, F-E-D-D-O-N, I don't know. He's a Catholic priest who has been ministering to Florida death row inmates since 2013, noting the church's opposition to capital punishment. He said, is this intentional? As though to say, we're not going to let a natural death help you escape executions. Yeah, sure. Does that matter? I mean, who cares what the reasoning is? We already decided that he was going to be put to death. So, I mean, who really cares? He goes on to say, to execute those that are the most frail and elderly is even more cruel and unusual. How? One could argue, not a smart one, but one could argue that it's more cruel to put a younger person to death. Just because the person is old and frail, again, we're not talking about human beings. We're talking about death row inmates. And death row inmates are there. In the case of the guy tonight, he murdered family members. He murdered, he murdered people, so he got convicted to death, and it's his lawyers who are mean. It's the people who are against the death penalty who are mean, if you ask me. It's people who are against the death penalty who file the appeals and offer the legal services and do all the things that they're not supposed to do, that the system is not supposed, all the loopholes they file that drag this stuff on years and years and years. Those are the cruel people. Because in that prison, the death row inmate, unless there's something legit, and I do realize, I just don't really care. I do realize that there are people out there who have been put to death, who were innocent. I do realize that that is a possibility. It's like next to nobody in the grand scheme of things, but I know the argument would be if it happens once, that's too often. But there are people out there it happens to. But, you could suggest that these are people who it would have been better if we would have just taken care of business right off the bat. If this does anything else, it doesn't prove that we shouldn't be putting elderly people to death. They're murderers. What it says is that we need to get the court system, the criminal justice system, in line. So you can get an appeal, right? I would limit it to 2 appeals. So you'll have had your trial to, make your case. You'll have your appeal to make your case. You'll have your second appeal to make your case. And that's 3 strikes right there. And let's take care of business. The people who are against these murderers getting put to death are really the cruel ones because they're the ones who drag it on years and years and years and years. So, 74-year-old getting put to death tonight. An 80-year-old is going to get put to death later this month. There are 74-year-olds, and there's another 80-year-old out there, and there are more on death row. These are just the ones that are scheduled. But is there an age, or do you think it's wrong or bad, or we shouldn't be executing elderly people just because they're elderly? Because that doesn't make sense to me. They're still murderers in most cases. 855-839-1210 is the number here. That's 855-839-1210. We'll take your phone calls and get some other stuff as well. My name is Casey Bartholomew. It is 3:45. You're listening to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
You know what I love? American-made products, baby. That's right. It's Rich Zioli. American-made products, and that's what you get from Emmons Roofing and Siding. Owens Corning shingles are made in New Jersey. Certainteed siding made right outside of Philly. Provia windows and doors handcrafted in Ohio. And because Emmons is platinum with Owens Corning, your roof comes with a lifetime workmanship warranty. That's accountability on American-made quality from an American company right in our backyard. EmmonsRoofing.com. EmmonsRoofing.com.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000.
Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief took care of Eric's problem.
And now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. Optima Tax Relief.
When you need them, your local volunteer fire department routinely answers the call. Whether it be a fire, traffic accident, or a cat stuck in a tree, there is always someone there for you. However, because of declines in memberships, departments are becoming understaffed and struggling. Here's how you can help your neighbors and your community. No matter what skills you may possess, you can make a difference. Your local volunteer fire department desperately needs your help. Can you direct traffic, install a smoke alarm, help at fundraisers? Your community needs you. You don't have to fight fire to be a volunteer. Will you make that difference? Will you answer the call? Brought to you by the National Volunteer Firefighter Recruitment Center, a program service of the Volunteer Firefighter Alliance. For more information on how you can help and make a difference, visit www.nvfrc.org. That's www.nvfrc.org.
A diagnosis like heart fits your heart. You don't take chances. DemandDeborah.org.
With the world's biggest soccer tournament here in Philadelphia, restaurants all over the Delaware Valley are preparing for generational games and generational crowds. We're welcoming visitors from all over the world. And if you're a restaurant owner, you know the next few weeks will be the most challenging and most rewarding of the year. So if you're worried that your point of sale won't stand up to the task, you need to talk to our friends at PDQ POS. Make sure your system is ready. Get a free demo at pdqpos.com.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-358-6868. That's 800-358-6868. Again, 800-358-6868.
Now you can listen to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
.349 Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Casey Bartholomew. I'm here until 6. Stick around after 6. That's when Rich Zioli comes on. 855-839-1210 is the number here. That's 855-839-1210. This will probably come as a shock to no one. Anybody who was paying any attention when the Hunter Biden laptop story started, and everybody tripped over themselves to deny or not cover the laptop and claim it was faked, all this kind of stuff, only to come to find out that it was all 100% true. This will come as a shock to no one. But two of the most popular news aggregating services systematically suppressed scores of articles about disgraced former Maine Senate candidate and accused rapist Graham Plattner for months during his ill-fated campaign until the weight of his scandals finally became too much to ignore. This is what a new study has found. The Media Research Center, the MRC, revealed that both Apple News and Google News published exactly between the months of November and May 0 stories covering the controversies, including the fact that he's a Nazi with a Nazi tattoo and his offensive Reddit posts. Can you imagine them doing that if Trump had a Nazi tattoo? Can you imagine Apple or Google? Yeah, we're going to keep those out. Put that stuff out there. Why would we do that? That would never happen, ever. Hell, they fabricated an entire story about Trump's rally at the Garden as being a Nazi rally. They fabricated that entire thing, and that was everywhere. But a guy who's an accused rapist by multiple women was going on sex sites while he was married and had a Nazi tattoo, as he's a candidate for the United States Senate. Nah, We don't need to hear any. That's nothing. That's nothing we need to hear. The study also found that the tech giants failed to promote at least 112 different news stories published by conservative-leaning outlets that investigated Plattner's disturbing history during the November to May period. Again, can you imagine that happening? Can you imagine MSNBC doing stories about Donald Trump, true or not, and they decide we're not going to push those. We're not going to publish those. MRC President David Bozell went so far as to accuse the tech platforms of running a protection racket for Plattner. Of course they do. This isn't the first time we see that. You remember when they had Justin Trudeau, who was at the time the Prime Minister of Canada, and the media loved him. And they found out that he wore blackface. And nobody made a big deal about that. They kicked Megyn Kelly off the air. She never wore blackface. She asked a legitimate question about it from the 1970s. And they kicked her right off the air. Justin Trudeau may wear black. That's okay. There's different rules. Joy Behar on The View rips everybody apart, calls everybody racist. There's pictures of her in blackface. And she, oh no, it's just skin darkening stuff. That's all it was. It was a blackface. And anyway, like I said, there's different rules, and that's the way it goes. So absolutely, they had a protection racket. The creepy thing, the bad thing is, it was a protection racket, absolutely, positively, 100%, over a guy who was a Nazi. Over a guy who, and again, I'm playing by their rules right now, right? Remember during Me Too, Brett Kavanaugh? You always believe the accuser. Whether they're lying or not, Blasé Ford, whether you're lying or not, you always believe the accuser. And he's got two women who are accusing him of rape. That means he's a rapist in the eyes of the left. And he's a Nazi. We can actually say that. He had a Nazi tattoo. So that's absolutely true. But they said it was a racket. They were actually doing protection for him by memory holding unflattering coverage as it slowly became obvious that the left had erred in holding him up as a blue-collar everyman in his Senate campaign to unseat Susan Collins. The MRC said the study said the coverage blackout began after a poll released in October of last year called Plattner the Democrat with the best chance to defeat the incumbent and didn't let up until the New York Times May 30th report about him sexting women outside of his marriage. It just balled up, right? It just piled up, and there was nothing else they could do. They only admitted it when they had to admit it, when there was no choice. Bozell said for months, while Plattner looked like the one Democrat who could beat Susan Collins, the two most powerful news apps in America buried scandal after scandal. Then the polls turned. Plattner became a liability, and suddenly the blackout ended. News judgment had nothing to do with it. Nobody wanted to be near it. When the initial scandals came out, with the Nazi tattoo, the sexting scandal, all that stuff, all of the AOC, what's her name? Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas, Elizabeth Warren, all of that stuff, they were bending over backwards to support him. But when there was absolutely nothing more, they could handle Nazis. They could handle a Nazi being in the Senate. They were fine with that. They could handle some guy sexting women outside of his marriage. That was fine. Now he's a rapist. And again, I'm only playing by their rules. You believe the accuser no matter what, like they did with Brett Kavanaugh. You believe them no matter what. So now he's a rapist, and I guess that's the line. You can be a Nazi. You can cheat online on your wife. But raping two women, I think it had to get to two, too. I don't even think it was one. I think once there's two, that's when the left will finally get on board with what everybody else already knows. All right, when we come back, there's the issue of skill games in Pennsylvania and the amount of money that they will bring into the state, maybe, because technically they're kind of illegal right now. We're going to get into all of that. We're going to talk to you about it, find out if you play them, get your reaction. All that's coming up. Casey Bartholomew, it's 3:57 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Drip Drop is doctor-developed, proven fast hydration that helps your body and mind work better. Trusted by firefighters, medical professionals, and over 90% of top college and pro sports teams, Drip Drop is engineered to hydrate faster and more effectively than water alone, with 3 times the electrolytes of leading sports drinks. Stock up now at DripDrop.com and use promo code Radio20 for 20% off your first order. That's DripDrop.com, promo code Radio20 for 20% off your first order. Head to DripDrop.com now and use promo code Radio20.
In Philadelphia, Chase is proud to root for the home team because they're our team too. We cheer from the bleachers and on the sidelines. We cheer for gymnasts and quarterbacks. And with more than 80 local Chase branches and 5,000 nationwide, we are right beside you, Philadelphia. Neighborhood bankers, digital tools, national strength. Chase, make more of what's yours.
JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Paul Cozy from Cozy Jewelers. If you're looking for the perfect engagement ring, don't settle. At our family-owned store in Newtown Square, we design and create every ring ourselves, so you're dealing direct with the designer, me. Custom doesn't have to cost more, but poor quality will cost you for years. Step up to the 5th seat and get an heirloom quality ring that's as unique as your love story at Cozy Jewelers. That's color, cut, clarity, carat, and cozy.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The U.S. naval blockade reimposed by President Trump going into effect this hour. It comes as the U.S. has carried out new strikes against Iranian targets and Iran launching strikes of its own in the region. A day after President Trump vowed to charge 20% tolls on cargo ships in the Strait of Hormuz, he's now reversing course. ABC's Christian Cordero has more.
Iran insists that it has control of the strait. The U.S. has been implementing this naval blockade to try to essentially choke Iran's economy. We've heard from experts, so even just within the past several hours, they don't necessarily care about their people, is what a lot of our analysts have said. But to affect them economically by blocking the ports is a way to get the message through.
Homeland Security Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen has directed law enforcement to temporarily halt vehicle stops in Maine and Texas. It follows fatal shootings involving federal officers. The man shot in Biddeford, Maine yesterday has been identified by Senator Angus King's office as Johann Sebastian Guerrero. Darlene Graham, the sister of the late Senator Lindsey Graham, sworn into office today. She will serve out the remainder of the 71-year-old's term, which ends in January. ABC political director Avery Harper has more.
This is very important for the continuation of Lindsey Graham's legacy, and that is exactly what we know Darlene Graham Nordon, what she has said she wants to do. She wants to carry out her brother's work, finish her brother's work, and preserve his legacy. And so in that, I think that Republicans will regain a very reliable vote when it comes to some key agenda items through the end of his term.
New York's Attorney General announced her state, along with bipartisan coalition of 42 other attorneys general, have reached an $18 million settlement with 23andMe to protect customers' private genetic data. It comes from the massive breach in 2023 impacting nearly 7 million consumers. You're listening to ABC News.
Of all the wireless companies in America, only one has 5 stars in every category from Consumer Reports, and that company is Pure Talk. Coverage, support, value, data. 5 stars across the board. Plus, no service contracts and no cancellation fees. Just phenomenal U.S. customer service on a crazy fast 5G network. Dial pound 250, say micro, and switch to a 5-star American wireless company that won't let you down. Pure Talk.
Ever wonder why you have insurance for your car or home, but not your digital life? Meet WebRoot Total Protection, your digital bodyguard that includes antivirus, identity protection, VPN, cloud backup, and more. With plans for individuals and families, WebRoot takes the guessing game out of cybersecurity so you can get back to living your best life online. Go to webroot.com/protect and get 60% off today. That's webroot.com/protect to get 60% off today. Live a better digital life with WebRoot because peace of mind shouldn't be optional.
Palestinian activist Mahmoud Khalil is suing the Trump administration over what he alleged public-private conspiracy to target critics of Israel.
The federal civil rights lawsuit alleged that top Trump administration officials, a conservative think tank, and pro-Israel groups colluded to target and deport Palestinian activists. The lawsuit relies on the Reconstruction-era Ku Klux Klan Act, which made it illegal for individuals to conspire together to violate another person's rights. If a judge accepts Khalil's argument that the Trump administration and private groups, quote, corrupted the legal process to target Palestinian activists, the lawsuit could stall the federal government's attempt to deport Khalil and shed new light on the Trump administration's broader deportation push. Peter Haralamus, ABC News, New York.
A coast-to-coast heat wave has millions of Americans sweltering. In western states, it's hitting triple digits. There's been an increase in rescue calls from hikers. ABC's Kana Whitworth is in Salt Lake City.
Near record heat is baking much of the Midwest, with heat warnings and watches stretching across several states.
Triple-digit heat means more to us than records here. It means we have to take care of our citizens. We have to take care of our responders in new ways.
In popular destinations like Zion National Park, triple-digit temperatures are pushing hikers to their limits.
This last weekend, we had 2 in one day right here in the foothills right above Salt Lake City, and that's unusual for us.
Officials reminding people that heat is the deadliest weather hazard in the United States.
In parts of the Southwest, flooding remains a concern this week. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Of all the wireless companies in America, only one has 5 stars in every category from Consumer Reports, and that company is Pure Talk. Coverage, support, value, data. 5 stars across the board. Plus, no service contracts and no cancellation fees. Just phenomenal U.S. customer service on a crazy fast 5G network. Dial pound 250, say micro, and switch to a 5-star American wireless company that won't let you down. Pure Talk.
In Africa, 5-year-old Chiru has no choice. She and millions like her must walk miles every day for dirty water. But together, we can end their walk by providing clean water close by. Instead of spending hours walking to get water that makes them sick, girls can be in a classroom that expands their minds, and moms will gain back time to care for their families. Sons and daughters can grow up strong, finally free of sicknesses caused by dirty water. At World Vision, care about clean water runs deep. Deep enough to reach 1 new person with clean water every 10 seconds. Because every child, every person, everywhere deserves clean water and the chance to rise to their full potential. It's true. When you just add water, you change a life. Learn more at worldvision.org.
WPHT, HD, WOGL, HD3, Philadelphia. From the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. Free speech lives here. The WPHT Afternoon Show.
406 Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Casey Bartholomew. Until 6 o'clock. Stick around after 6. That'll be when Rich Zioli comes on. 855-839-1210 is the number here. That's 855-839-1210. The Pennsylvania budget is done, and state lawmakers are gone until the fall because they've worked almost an entirely part-time job, and they're exhausted. They have to take bribes. They have to see their hookers. It's all the prostitution, the lobbyists, everything. Like, it's exhausting. And I think they voted on a couple of things, I'm sure. Anyway, they left Harrisburg with a major issue unresolved. Actually, two. We're going to get into another one later on. But skill games, which are legal today, will not be if lawmakers do not take some kind of an action before the state Supreme Court's October 13th deadline. Unlike normal gambling games, slot machines, things like that, skill games give you a chance to win money if you can hit a button quickly enough to stop a spinner or something along those lines. And they're basically games of chance, but not games of chance. There's that legal gray area. Well, that legal gray area is going away. And that means a lot of money is going to be lost for a lot of different people, organizations, all this stuff. According to Lisa Iskrick, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that, she manages the American Legion in Steelton, which has skill games, says, I'm nervous. At first, it wasn't really a part of our income. It was just income. Now it's a part of our budget. It's what we do to sustain the bills, the buildings, repairs, payroll, all of those types of things. What did you do before? I mean, it's gambling. You can say whatever you want to say. It's gambling. The same like poker, video poker would be gambling, things like that. But either way, Governor Josh Shapiro said after lawmakers reached a budget deal that did not include regulations for skill games and then scurried home, that my door's open if lawmakers, particularly on their side of the building, finger pointer, what did you do? Want to continue to discuss this, but if not, the Pennsylvania State Police is ready to enforce the law when that deadline hits on October 13th. Acting Pennsylvania State Police Commissioner Lieutenant Colonel George Bivens says he is already evaluating enforcement plans. That's what I mean. They're almost making it sound like prohibition. They're almost making it sound like we're going to do raids, and if we see the skill games there that people are going to be making money off of, then we're going to start bashing heads, something along those lines. I want to know if you think they need to be made illegal. I want to know if you think they should go away. I personally don't like. I'm not a gambler. All right, it's nothing again. If I go to Atlantic City or Vegas, I'll sit there and drop some coins into a slot machine. I'm not a big gambler. I think it's because I'm worried that I could become a big gambler. I know my personality, so I try to keep a handle on it. And so when we go to Vegas or Atlantic City, in Vegas, I'll just look at the pretty lights. And my wife goes and gambles all her money away. Different role reversal in my relationship. Anyway, but that's the problem they're having. So it's not part of the budget, and it's not part of anything for some places. And they use this to fund things, but they still are games of chance. I mean, they say they're games of skill because you pushed a button, but they are games of chance. Now, according to Bivens, Lieutenant Colonel George Bivens, the acting Pennsylvania State Police Commissioner, said right now, though, there's still some time. We're waiting to see if the legislature acts and does anything to legalize them. And that's what I want to know from you, if the skill games should be legalized. Give me a call, 855-839-1210. Now, if not, local district attorneys and police would seize them. Doesn't it sound like Al Capone level stuff? A picture going into like a Wawa. There's a back room. They have to push a button, like a speakeasy. They have to push a button, and I'll go back there and play games, spinny games, so I can win money. Now, Pennsylvania would be leaving as much, and this is another aspect of it to think about. Pennsylvania would be leaving as much as $1 billion a year in tax revenue on the table if the games aren't taxed and regulated. Well, that's how you get government to do something. That's how you get somebody to pull their head out and say, oh, $1 billion? That's $1 billion. If I'm a politician, that's $1 billion that I could steal and funnel towards something that profits me, something along those lines. I'm sure they'll say, well, this is $1 billion for children who need milk, or whatever they're bitching about. According to State Representative Jamie Barton, Republican, said these could benefit the state if we tax them properly. If we've had that opportunity to do it, we failed. The industry itself said, hey, tax us, regulate us. We want to be legitimate. Did they say that, though? Did they say that or just say, can we just not make them illegal? You don't tax us or regulate us. Just let's keep doing it. It doesn't sound, I've never seen an industry who popped right up and said, tax us. Please tax us, regulate us, government. Because there's not a business out there that doesn't want more government regulation. Everybody wants to be regulated by the government. Everybody wants to be taxed more by the government. Everybody wants the government to have more control over what they did. I have a sneaking suspicion. What's the name of the machine manufacturers? Pesomatic. I love that name, by the way. The Pesomatic. I'm sure they were going, gosh, in their boardrooms, where they're all sitting around a conference table, sitting there just smoking cigarettes and drinking scotch. I don't know. Corporate raiders drink scotch. I don't drink it all. But they're sitting there and they're going, God, when is the damn government going to get together and start regulating us more? We're tired of doing things for ourselves. We want the government to regulate. When are they going to start taxing us more? Tired of keeping all this money. Running out of places to put it. Sure, that's happening. In a statement, machine manufacturer Pesomatic says it will abide by the law and shut down its games, but can't speak for the thousands of illegal games that are out there. Representative Jason Dawkins, Democrat, said, I'm not concerned. I think we are well positioned to kind of deal with skill games when we return. The reality is lawmakers only have a handful of session days before October 13th. Dawkins acknowledged another reality as well. He said, with 70,000 plus machines throughout the Commonwealth, it's virtually impossible to go in and remove all of those machines at once. So we don't make laws? You know, with all the illegal aliens out there, it's virtually impossible to remove all of them, so let's just let them all stay. Is that the mindset there? I don't know. I've never played a skill game. Because I don't look for that stuff. To my knowledge, I've never been to a place where they have them. So, because that's not something I do. But again, I want to know if you think they should go become illegal. They should be saved, regulated, taxed, because apparently that's what the industry wants. But that's a gamble places like the Steelton Legion don't want to partake in. The woman, Iskrik, said, if that's taken away, unfortunately, we are not able to donate the way that we donate if we're able to even be here at all. So it's going to shut down. Is that the American Legion? If we don't have illegal gambling, the American Legion in Steelton is going to shut down. Attorney General Dave Sunday said that if October 13th comes without legislation, he hopes machine owners will voluntarily turn them off so widespread enforcement is not necessary. Sure. I listen to politicians talk sometimes, and I wonder if they've actually ever met anyone. I wonder if they've ever actually, they know how people work, and I wonder if they've ever actually met people. I don't think people are going to shut them down themselves. I don't think people are going to shut themselves down and say, you know what? You know what we need? We need more regulation and more taxation. More so, I don't think people who aren't being watched, the people with these skill games, and again, I've not seen any of these. I just looked it up to find out what they are. And apparently there's more than 70,000 of them out there. But they're going out there and they're saying, you know what, we're going to shut these things that make us money, the things that bring us in revenue, the things that we make our budgets by, in the case of the American Legion, the things that we bring this money in to do, I think we're just going to go ahead and stop because they're loosely enforcing a law. This is going to become one of those things, I believe, when it comes to the skill games. This is going to become one of those things where if they get caught, right? If they're doing something else and the police walk in and they see the skill game. Again, like I said, my understanding is there's, at least in one of them, maybe there's more kinds. There's a wheel and you push a button and there's your skill, right? You're really good at pushing buttons. And you stop the wheel, and that's how you win. But either way, It's just saying it out loud. It sounds like somebody who knew that like gambling was going to be illegal or something and just decided, let's come up with a game where we exist in this gray area and then we'll go ahead and do it. That's what it sounds like to me. But anyway, there's somebody going to come in. There's going to be some other law enforcement issue there. They're going to see the skill game and they're going to say, hey, you might want to shut that down. But until this starts becoming a major, major problem, until it starts becoming an issue whereby people are, losing money in mass, where it's becoming a problem for the community, unless it becomes a situation where there's, like I said before, where there's other crimes going in, I can't foresee a situation whereby we go ahead and start enforcing the law. We should. It's a law, right? If you're not supposed to have them, you're not supposed to have them. I mean, that seems pretty basic to me, but if we're not going to have a situation where we're actually going out of our way to enforce them, then I really don't see a way that they're going to actually have people go in and do it. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm being a little Pollyannish, but I have a feeling this isn't going to be the big deal. But if you've got $1 billion on the table, politicians don't like leaving money on the table. Politicians like taking money. I think they're waiting to see who blinks first in this situation. And again, I don't even know where they keep the American Legion halls is the one place where I can think of where they actually keep these things going. So I don't even know if they look at that stuff in a realistic way and go out of their way. But I don't know where other places they're at. They make it sound like it's like you go into Las Vegas and you go into the the children's bookstore, or the children's clothing store, and there's slot machines all over the place, which is actually true. So I don't know where these things exist everywhere. I've been to many places in Pennsylvania. I haven't, to my knowledge, ever seen one before. But my point is, if you're a politician and you see $1 billion on the table, if you're a politician, you go, oh, there's literally $1 billion on the table. I wonder if I should do the right thing and stop that and, get a handle on that, control that $1 billion, or if I should just give it all up and let it drift away. I don't really see that going on. I don't really see that going to the just being frittered away and done nothing with. Maybe I'm wrong. It certainly wouldn't be the first time, but I don't really see that being a situation where politicians are actually letting that go away. There's other stuff in the news, too, I want to talk about. This all came up, I wanted to throw out because my wife and I have this argument all the way, and I guess they've actually done studies. And it always amazes me when they do studies on things. It always amazes me when they go forward and try to figure, because when you do a study, you're spending money on things. And every few years, they say this debate rages forward and reemerges about whether or not reading or listening to an audiobook are the same thing. Basically, it comes down to whether or not listening to an audiobook is considered reading. I tease my wife. I don't never listen to an audiobook in my entire life. And that's all she does. I like going to bookstores. I like the smell of bookstores. I like the going through the books and turning all that. I love all that stuff. She checks books out on her iPhone, audiobooks out on her iPhone, and she plugs them in and she listens while she drives and she listens while she goes to sleep. So I don't think it's the same thing. And 1/4 of the internet are people like me, decent, God-fearing human beings. Avid physical book readers who celebrate the familiar scent of a page, scribbling annotations in a narrow margin. I don't scribble annotations. And I don't take notes while I read. I just read. And what they perceive to be the superior cognition required to decode the written word. I don't get that deep into it. Maybe that's why they had to have a study and they had to look into that stuff, and they had to actually spend money. I'm not thinking about, I have superior cognition. I just think that I'm a grown-up, and I don't like to be read to. And since I'm a grown-up who doesn't like to be read to, I read my own book. I tell my wife she's a 4-year-old, and it's like when I was reading to my kids when they were younger. In another corner, you got the audiobook lovers who praise the accessibility, for those who are visually impaired or have learning disabilities. Well, my wife is neither visually impaired nor does she have a learning disability. And she is someone who she actually said to me, I don't know why you would pick up a book when you don't have to, when mommy and daddy will read it to you. They say they relish not having to put a story on hold simply because they're in the shower. That's the argument. I can shower. Okay, I don't read in the shower. I clean myself and get out. Or on a walk or driving. The different senses required for listening to a book don't impact the story retention, is what they say. In the end, everybody's bickering about it, and you have to choose between those two options. And they say they did a study to find out if reading a book is better than actually listening to a book. Basically, it comes down to if listening to a book should count as reading. And they looked at it from a mental sort of way. And what they came down with is a kind of cop-out sort of answer. They basically say reading a book, physically reading a book, works different parts of your minds, allows you to, it's called coding, when it comes to reading the book and figuring out where the words are going and what the words are going to say, sort of guiding you along in the story, and you're more an active participant in the story. Those are the kinds of things they look at. So that's technically better for all those things. But if you're 4, like my wife, if you're a child like my wife is, and you want nothing more than to sit in your car and be read to, that's okay too. Then they spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they claim it's the advent of driving, and it's the advent of social media and all that kind of stuff that has caused people to plug in their earbuds and be the ones who decide that that they're going to just listen to a book rather than read it. And people like me tend to like the reading. They say the page prompts the mind to establish a mental map on which you'll note plot points, words, and details based on where they land on the page. I don't do that. I read. And then when I'm done reading, I'm done reading. That's basically where it comes down to. They say that they detail where they land on the page. This anchors the book's content to long-term memory. Additionally, as you begin to grasp the text, you can annotate in your mind, a way of deepening language processing, which is more easily done with print. Physical books tend to engage readers more than audiobooks because there's absolutely no effort to it. So, it's an argument my wife and I have all the time, and maybe you've had the same argument, but I'm curious to see if you think that listening to an audiobook is better than actually physically reading the book. I tend to find, by the way, this is the first time I've ever brought this up, I tend to find in talking to people that women seem to prefer to be, and I'm not trying to be disparaging here, women tend to prefer to be read to more than men like to. Men are more interested in actually picking up the book, turning the pages and reading the book, and women like to be read to. I wonder if it's like, you get some, I don't know, Antonio Banderas, some sexy guy, something, with his accent reading you a book. I wonder if women tend to enjoy that more, or if it's the situation where they just like to do. Women are so much more busy. That's what they say. They're so much more busy that in that realm, in that mindset, then they're the ones who tend to want to have the book playing in the background, so it's just there and they can passively listen to it. The problem with the passively listening to everything, when it comes to a book, my wife will listen to an entire book. She'll listen to multiple entire books. And she will not be able to tell you one single thing about any of the books. The argument they make, and again, they did the whole study, the argument they make is that this stuff is your subconscious and it's being pumped into all this kind of nonsensical crap that they talk about. And then my wife is a very intelligent woman in every avenue but men. Is a very intelligent woman, and what she has a master's degree. She is a speech pathologist, so she's a very bright woman. But when she listens to a book, and she'll say to me, I just finished this book, blah, 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 that I've been wanting to listen to. And I'll say, what was it about? And she'll give me a vague thing here and there about what it's about. but she won't actually be able to tell me anything. So if you think listening to audiobooks is the same as actual reading, I tend to prefer, like I said, picking up a book and actually reading it. 855-839-1210 is the number here. That's 855-839-1210. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we are going to talk about roadkill. My name is Casey Bartholomew. It's 427. You're listening to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
If you own a small business, the pressure never lets up. Something's always coming at you. That's why business owners turn to LendSeek for funding.
I don't need promises. I need options. LendSeek's AI platform showed me real funding choices. Now I can cover payroll, handle taxes, and go after growth opportunities without the daily stress.
Up to $5 million with funding in as fast as 24 hours. No upfront costs. No prepayment penalties. Start ready, stay ready. LendSeek.com. LendSeek.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
There's a reason that potato chips don't come in a clear bag.
There's only 8 chips in this bag.
That's why. It's only about 2/3 full. The rest is air. It's a lot like opening up your 401k at retirement. You get about 2/3 of it, and the rest goes to Uncle Sam. Jim Cipriotti at the Retire Ready Financial Group can help. His tax mapping process can help forecast what your tax bill will be in the future, and that way you can build a strategy now to potentially decrease your tax bill in retirement. In other words, more for you and less for Uncle Sam. Call today for your complimentary retirement tax mapping report, 610-894-7415. That's 610-894-7415, or find them online at retirereadyfg.com. And get Uncle Sam's greedy hands out of your retirement.
Hey, you've had enough.
With a complimentary tax mapping report from Jim Cipriotti. Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC, NPN number 2083768.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by LendSeek.
Reddit says it's using artificial intelligence to detect spam posts and comments that are used by marketing firms. Reddit calls it stealth marketing, in that the spam posts are picked up by chatbots like ChatGPT and Claude, with the comments then used to formulate answers, with Reddit considered the most cited domain in AI search. The social media firm says it's detecting about 25,000 spam posts and comments a day. I'm Jason Brooks.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
You take care of your dog out of love and responsibility. But what if every scoop that you're feeding them is slowly making them sicker? Not because you're a bad pet owner, but because the pet food industry never told you the truth. Greetings, naturopathic Dr. Dennis Blank, Amazon #1 best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. Dog food is dead food, stripped of every live nutrient that your dog needs. That's where Rough Greens comes in. Just sprinkle it on top of whatever you're already feeding them. It's packed with live probiotics, enzymes, omega oils, and over 20 live vitamins and minerals, all natural and made in the USA. Thousands of dog owners are watching their pets transform. More energy, shinier coat, better mobility, and your dog could be next. Take the Rough Greens 90-day challenge. Give us 90 days and we'll give you a healthier dog, guaranteed. Get a free Jumpstart trial bag for your dog today. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. Use discount code USA. That's RUFFgreens.com. Discount code USA. Rough Greens. So good, your dog will ask for it by name.
Progressive Insurance. Protect your family, your phone, and your furry friends with life, electronic device, and pet health insurance.
Now back to the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
This is Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
.432 Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Casey Bartholomew. I'll be with you until 6. Stick around after 6. That is when Rich the Oldie comes on. 855-839-1210 is the number here. That's 855-839-1210. I caught this story, and it was disgusting. And then I started talking to some people about it, and I read some of the comments about it. And I was like, dear God in heaven, people are actually doing this. They're starting to issue guidelines, and I don't want to go so far as to say warnings, because they're not really warnings. Like I said, they're more guidelines for people to follow when, not if, when they eat roadkill. What animals are good to eat, what animals are bad to eat. Now, this is something that happens, I think, in a lot of rural communities where, you know, they need to get their victuals, I guess, and a animal dead on the side of the road is just as good as anything you could buy in the store and far, far cheaper is the understanding that I have. Now, I am a city mouse. I have never, I actually hit a deer once. I did not pick it up and put it in the back of my car and drive away thinking, hey, we got dinner. I was mad. But I didn't do anything like that. And I got to talking to some people. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is because when I think of somebody, and again, this is my prejudice, when I think of somebody who is eating roadkill, you ever see the movie Deliverance? I'm thinking no teeth or missing one somewhere. I'm thinking banjo. I'm thinking every backwoods redneck stereotype that you can possibly think of. All right? Every moonshine, whatever. Okay, that's how my imagination works, and that's what's happening. And like I said, I saw this story, and my wife, I said before the commercial break, my wife is a speech pathologist, and she works with small kids in schools. And she has a coworker, a teacher. Her name is Ryan. And Ryan is 24 years old. She's about 5'2". If any of you'd like to date her, she just broke up with her fiance. And she's blonde, beautiful, well-educated. She's a school teacher, all that kind of stuff. And when this came up, she said, oh, yeah, we used to eat squirrel all the time. And I don't picture an attractive person not only eating roadkill, but eating squirrel. I mean, just fuzzy rats. And so I don't know where the line is drawn when it comes to that. And my wife brought it up, the squirrel thing, to some of the kids. Like I said, this is a poor rural district because my wife has a big heart. Not like me. And she was talking to her teacher friend about it. And these little kids came up. Yeah, we get squirrel. We had groundhog, all this stuff. And apparently the world is your oyster when you are living in rural America. And anything that once moved can somehow be cleaned and cooked and stewed and grilled and all that stuff, and you can go right ahead and eat it. I have never. I'm not naive, all right? I know where food comes from. When I go to the store and I see the steak, I don't think that a mommy steak and a daddy steak got together and made a baby steak, and the baby steak grew and now I've got a ribeye. I don't think that's I know that's not what happens. I know that it's a dead animal in there. But it wasn't hit on the side of the road. It wasn't covered in dirt and pebbles. It doesn't have paint from a car on it, anything like that. I prefer my animals to be killed in an inhumane processing plant where it can be sliced, seasoned, and then presented to me. That's what I like, okay? So I know that where the food comes from. I would just rather pay for it than if I found a cow on the side of the road. That's steak, right? Cow, yeah. But if I found a cow on the side of the road, I wouldn't cut off, parts. I don't know anything about pigs, cows, whatever. I wouldn't cut off part of it and try to make a side of beef, I think, and bring it home and feed my family. I wouldn't do that. But there are people who do. And based on the comments of the article, there are a lot of people that do. And some of these people will, like I said, squirrel. Like I said, fuzzy rat. Why are you eating fuzzy rats? Leave the fuzzy rats alone. But I heard armadillo. I read armadillo is one of the things. Groundhog, any number of birds, squirrel, deer apparently is a big one. There are warnings, and by the way, it's not illegal to eat roadkill in most places, but you have to have a permit to sort of like have it. In a lot of places, it's covered under the same thing as, like hunting. If you can hunt it and get it from hunting, then you technically roadkill is under the same rules in most places. I don't know where they are everywhere, but in most places, call your local jurisdiction before you go shopping. But and I'll tell you what they say about some of these animals. They tell you to always use gloves, always use a mask if you can. Goggles are good, and clean the ever-loving crap out of it before you put it in your mouth. That's basically what it comes down to. So if there's anybody out there who has ever actually eaten roadkill, I don't mean hunting, I don't mean you kill, I mean it was on the side of the road, it was dead when you got there, or maybe you hit it with your car, something like that, but it was freshly dead on the side of the road, and you scooped it up because if you don't believe me, go on the interwebs and look. There is an unusually large amount of people who have zero issue eating a dead animal that they find on the side of the road. And, maybe your mom and, ma and pa, I guess you would say at that point, send you out with a stick or something, and you poke the squirrel and you just bring it back. I'm not sure I'm not sure what the process is. I didn't want to get that into it with these people, but I would like to hear if you have ever eaten roadkill. That's 855-839-1210. Now they go through the various animals that are some places acceptable, other places problematic, and why. They say you should always handle it. I want to make sure you have the safety information, for the love of God. You should wear gloves, goggles, masks, refrigerate or freeze it quickly. Grab it and throw it in the freezer. And if you have a freezer big enough to hold roadkill, I'm guessing it's not an uncommon occurrence for you. Make sure the meat reaches safe internal temperatures during the cooking process. Well, that's true of anything. And make sure you check to know what species you're dealing with. Rabbits, these are generally safe if they are prepared and cooked properly. Intestinal parasites are common. Fleas on rabbits carry tularemia, which can be transmitted to humans and is potentially life-threatening. Foxes, bobcats, raccoons, and coyotes can be affected with the parasitic infection trichinosis, I don't know, which can spread to humans in undercooked meat. Does this make your mouth water, by the way? So far, I've given you reason not to eat rabbit, not to eat fox, not to eat bobcat, not to eat raccoon. Why do you eat raccoon anyway? They're trash rats. Squirrels. Avoid the squirrels in your neighborhood. I'm going to tell my wife's friend. Avoid the squirrels in your neighborhood or around the city, as they may have eaten trash, rat poison, or plants coated in toxic pesticides. So if you've got a hankering for squirrel, go out and fetch yourself a wild squirrel, because that would be better in the victuals department. Hogs. I thought they killed you. I've talked about hogs enough on the radio. Apparently hogs can eat every part of you, and do. You get in an area where there's wild hogs all over. Apparently that is a major problem when that happens. But wild or feral hogs are considered to be an invasive species and may be freely hunted on private property in most places without permits or limits. So picking one up accidentally hit by a car should be covered by your reasoning. Hogs are prone to a variety of diseases, so pick one up fresh, that humans can catch, particularly brucellosis, which can cause fever, chills, weight loss, and joint and muscle pain, according to the CDC. Armadillos. Eat an armadillo. Handling dead or live armadillos can be very dangerous. They are the only non-human species that carries Mycobacterium leprae, the bacterium that causes Hansen's disease, which is also known as leprosy. You can actually catch leprosy if you're handling an armadillo. This is according to the Emerging Pathogens Institute. There have been 17 cases of Hansen's disease reported in some states this year, and more are expected. Beware of bears under any circumstances. And the reason doesn't really have anything to do with parasites or what might be in a bear. I honestly didn't know you could eat bear. But you can, I guess. But if you hit a bear or somebody hits a bear, bears are apparently very strong. And if you hit a bear, they might just be stunned if they're laying on the ground. And bears are very bitey and scratchy and very strong. And so if you're going to approach one, you have to use extreme caution, because the bear might just be unconscious after being hit with your giant car. So there you go. I can't think of any legitimate reason. And like I said, I'm happy for people who can get their nourishment in any way. But like my wife's friend, I don't think I ever would have dated a girl who ate I ate ostrich once. But it wasn't roadkill ostrich. I actually bought it at a restaurant and ate it. So that was the case. So if you've ever partaken of the roadkill, give us a call, 855-839-1210. It's 855-839-1210. My name is Casey Bartholomew. I am sitting in today. It's 4:45. You're listening to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
To 15-year-old Harper, buying an $80 vintage rock t-shirt is a great investment. To Harper's mom, this logic has a few holes in it. So she helped Harper open a Wells Fargo Clear Access banking account. With no overdraft fees and tools to track spending, Harper's learning, one heavy metal tee at a time. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Terms apply. Visit wellsfargo.com/deposit disclosures for fees and details.
D&K Appliances is a family-owned and operated business for 3 generations located in Newtown Square and Flowertown. D&K Appliances offers one-stop shopping, providing delivery, installation, and service of top brands like GE, Thermador, Wolf, Bosch, Speed Queen, KitchenAid, and Whirlpool for your kitchen or laundry. D&K Appliance sales associates are industry experts, supporting customers every step of the way. Visit D&K Appliances, the dependable difference. Newtown Square and Flowertown showrooms, or visit DKAppliances.com.
What's one of your favorite memories?
That's a tough question. Well, there was this one time I went camping with my parents in a forest back when I was maybe like 8 or 9. And I can remember one night we were laying out in our hammocks and we were just, watching the trees rustling in the wind above us, and we could hear the sounds of the forest all around us. Frogs singing and owls calling and the creek running nearby. It was amazing. It felt like we were a part of it all. I don't know if I do it justice trying to describe it, but I'll definitely never forget it.
Most of us have a memory of being in nature we'll never forget. Let's protect the world's natural places so more memories can be made for generations to come. Visit worldwildlife.org.
Employee pricing isn't just for employees anymore. For a limited time only this July, everyone saves at Closet Factory Philadelphia. Schedule your free design consultation today at closetfactory.com. That's closetfactory.com.
Hi, this is Dave Barlow from Barlow Buick GMC in Woodbury, New Jersey. Baseball season is heating up, and so are the savings here at Barlow. The All-Star Buick GMC lineup is waiting for you. Leading off, the powerful GMC Sierra, built to knock expectations out of the park and be the MVP of every road trip. Visit Barlow Buick GMC this summer, where honest pricing and dedicated service are always part of the lineup, or shop 24/7 at barlowautogroup.com. Buick, exceptional by design. GMC, we are professional grade.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial # law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. BABBEL.com.
Yo, Langhorne. Thanks for listening to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
.449, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Casey Bartholomew with you until 6. Stick around after 6. Rich Zioli will be coming in. Give me a call, 855-839-1210. That's 855-839-1210. Before the break, we were talking about roadkill, and you would be amazed. You'd be absolutely amazed at how many people actually eat dead animals from the side of the road. There's rules, there's parasites. You're basically going to die if you eat them. But apparently people do it, and people do it with alarming and shocking regularity. So I've never done it. The people who do, I expect to have less teeth than your average full-grown adult. But if you have ever eaten any roadkill, I would love to hear your story. It's 855-839-1210. Let's talk to Sean in Paoli. Sean, you're on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT with Casey. Go ahead.
Hey, how you doing, Casey? Yeah, I think
fine.
you're a little bit. I think you're overreacting, brother. There's people that do that all the time. And
that's what I'm saying. It's me.
Yeah.
I'm saying that people are doing this all the time, and it's weird.
Nah, well, if you get a fresh kill, it's not that bad. You got to know what you're looking at, man. You know, it's like if you grow up hunting, say you're out hunting, you know how to address an animal.
Yeah.
You can tell if there's disease. You know, you're going to open it up, and there's going to be spots on the organs. You're going to look at it and say, no, this thing's no good. But I have multiple stories, but I'll just give you one. I used to do a 3 a.m. shift in Chester Springs, and I was coming down to work one night. I'll say in the morning. It's about 2:30 in the morning. A guy in front of me had his lights on, blinkers, and he was pulled over. I thought he got in an accident, so I got out. He had just hit a deer, and he said, "Hey man, you got a knife?" I said, "Yeah, I got my knife." What if we sat there and dressed that thing on the side of the road, man. I got the. It was fresh. It was.
Oh no!
It's
still steaming.
I'm telling you, he took the back straps. Now, if you know, a back strap off a deer is considered filet mignon. All right, so he got those, and I got the back hocks. I got the hindquarters.
Sure.
And we sat there and cut that thing up, man. Only took us like 10 or 15 minutes. And we tossed the rest of the carcass.
Are you driving around with the equipment in case?
Well, I guess you got a knife, and he had some plastic in his car. I cut it up, and we wrapped it up, and I took it to work with me and threw it in my work fridge. My boss thought I was crazy.
I do, too. And you got a knife and some plastic. You can commit a nice crime.
He took pictures of it to send his kid. He's like, what are you doing walking in here with this? I had 2 big hind legs.
Yeah.
And, I gave one to my buddy. His wife was an Amish girl. They made stew and did whatever. We ate it up. It wasn't bad. I mean, it's, like I said, you got to know what you're looking at. Now, I lived in Iowa for a while, and I worked on a pig farm out there. And there was a guy, one of my neighbors, he would eat raccoon, like you were saying, on the road. Uh-huh. Now, him, he was a little bit off, so I never ate the raccoon with him. But he would just drive around and look for roadkill, and he would eat it all the time. He was healthy as a horse, man. I'm not saying he was smart, but, I get what you're saying. I'm just saying it's not, I think it's a little bit overreactive to say. I would never go find, like, a dead squirrel on the side of the road and pick it up and put it in my car.
Why not?
Who knows how long it's been there? And usually they're flat anyway.
There you go. Yeah.
It's like you got to know. Like my dad, they used to go squirrel hunting when they were kids, and they would eat the squirrels. I mean,
that's right. My wife's friend eats squirrels, and apparently and the kids. And again, the very rural district that she works in. So the kids are eating squirrel.
They know what they're doing, though. I mean, I don't think if you know what you're doing, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's just it's a funny subject. It is funny. Yeah. Nobody wants to be like, "Hey, I'm eating roadkill," But
no,
it's like,
no. I want my meat processed and packaged. I want it shoved with additives and preservatives and hormones. I want all of it in there. Yeah, give me extra.
I became friends with the Pennsylvania, one of the game commissioners. I had some gun issues on my last property. I was living in Honeybrook, and I had some gun issues, and me and him ended up becoming friends, and he offered to give me fresh, they call them farm kills. The farmers are allowed to shoot whatever goes on their property and eat if they're wrecking their fields, the farmers can shoot the deer. They don't have to have a seasonal license. And he's like, hey, listen, man, he's like, if you need meat, I'll bring you these fresh farm kills. I mean, this is.
Well, see, that's but I mean, that's not roadkill. That's okay. That's I'm thinking, roadkill is what it is. I don't know. I've never eaten anything you cook.
You don't want to gravel in your food. I get it.
No,
you got to sit there and pick fruit at.
I don't want to do that. Okay, I'll take your word for it, Sean. All right, man. Thanks for calling.
Right.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Yeah, I don't want gravel in my food. You read the comments online about the roadkill, and you think not all of these people can be truthful. It's the internet. I know you're only supposed to put things that are true on the internet, and I hate to shock some of you, but people do from time to time tell lies on the internet, in the comments section. That does in fact happen. But when you get an actual person calling in, and there's people all over the place doing it. Yeah, I get, that's the impression I get. And I'm not even, people were, I didn't comment online, but people were commenting on it. Were like, it's like, hey, elitist, not everybody has money, not everybody has the resource. And so they're eating squirrel. And I mean, and that's the thing that is happening. It's nothing, I can't imagine a situation. I guess if I were starving, if I were on a deserted island in the middle of the ocean, and it was just me and squirrels, once I figured out how to make fire, because I was never a Boy Scout, I don't know how to do that. Once I figured that aspect out, I think I would just cook the crap out of something and eat whatever was there. But that is a pretty hairy situation. I can't imagine ever wanting to do that. All right, when we come back, something's going to happen. Probably very soon. We may have permanent daylight saving time. And a lot of people don't want that, but that's something that's going on. And the government's going to vote on that coming up. And we'll tell you the whole story and get your reaction. That's all coming up. You want to chime in, 855-839-1210. But daylight saving time could be the permanent thing. My name is Casey Bartholomew. It's 4:57 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. You know what I don't like? Paying for something twice. I can't stand that. Hey, it's Rich Zioli. That's why when it comes to your roof, siding, doors, and windows, there's only one call you should make, and that's to my guys at Emmons Roofing and Siding. Emmons is a platinum Owens Corning contractor, which means that Owens Corning backs not just the shingles, but the workmanship as well for life. That's right, for life. Roofing, siding, windows, doors, residential or commercial, done right the first time, every time. Go to emmonsroofing.com.
Hey, this is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. I've been talking about myself for all these years. Now it's time for you to hear from one of our great clients.
Investor Schooling lives up to the promises. Larry's a great teacher, teaches about the whole new approach to thinking about money. I've taken to heart many of the things that he's taught me, and my financial life has improved.
Come to Investor Schooling, and you could be just like Charlie and change your financial life. Go to investorschooling.com. We will see you Thursday.
Looking for an auto repair shop you can actually trust? McCullough's Auto Repair has been serving Delco since 1999. They believe honesty, fairness, and friendly service still matter. Chuck and Ralph run the place. No matter your car's issue, they'll explain it in plain English and help you decide what really needs to be done now and what can wait. Chuck's motto is, I'll never steer you wrong. Call McCullough's at 610-446-1230 and ask for Chuck or Ralph, or visit McCullough'sAutoRepair.com.
Jim Cipriotti at Retire Ready Financial Group doesn't need Google to know you're worried about retirement. Between inflation, rising taxes, and the uncertainty about Social Security, he understands. That's why he offers a complimentary retirement second opinion. It's a no-obligation meeting for you to talk about your concerns about retirement. You want to know if you're going to be okay? Let's find out. 610-894-7415 or go online, retirereadyfg.com.
Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, NPN number 2083768.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The U.S. military says it's carrying out another round of strikes against Iran. A new U.S. naval blockade now in effect on ships trying to enter the Strait of Hormuz and bound for Iranian ports. A day after proposing a 20% toll on ships in the strait, President Trump is backing away from the plan and now says the U.S. will be paid through trade deals.
We're spending money, and so what we've done is we are going to be reimbursed for protection.
Iran also launching strikes targeting U.S. facilities in the region today. The renewed hostilities driving up oil and gas prices even further. Gas Buddy's Patrick DeHaan.
Motorists may go to work this morning with a lower price. They may see prices that are 15 to 40 cents a gallon higher on their way home from work today or even tomorrow.
On Capitol Hill, Supreme Court Justices Amy Coney Barrett and Elena Kagan testified today before House and Senate committees about the budget request for next year. It's calling for $228 million, including a 10% increase for security. Justice Barrett explained she and her colleagues are receiving threats in a variety of ways.
Many of us, me included, have received threatening anonymous deliveries designed to intimidate and harass us.
Barrett says during the Dobbs decision leak, she was given a bulletproof vest to take home by her security detail. A major fast food chain modifying some ingredients at select locations due to the cyclosporiasis outbreak.
Taco Bell says it is voluntarily and temporarily removing some ingredients at select restaurants as a precautionary move amid the parasitic outbreak impacting multiple states. The company is noting that public health officials have not confirmed a link between cyclosporiasis and any specific supplier or restaurant. In Michigan alone, 600 more cases have been reported since Monday. Preliminary findings in Michigan suggest lettuce or salad greens could be the source of the illness. Alex Stone, ABC News.
The CDC is tracking cases in at least 31 states. You're listening to ABC News.
Of all the wireless companies in America, only one has 5 stars in every category from Consumer Reports, and that company is Pure Talk. Coverage, support, value, data. 5 stars across the board. Plus, no service contracts and no cancellation fees. Just phenomenal U.S. customer service on a crazy fast 5G network. Dial pound 250, say micro, and switch to a 5-star American wireless company that won't let you down. Pure Talk.
Ever wonder why you have insurance for your car or home, but not your digital life? Meet WebRoot Total Protection, your digital bodyguard that includes antivirus, identity protection, VPN, cloud backup, and more. With plans for individuals and families, WebRoot takes the guessing game out of cybersecurity so you can get back to living your best life online. Go to webroot.com/protect and get 60% off today. That's webroot.com/protect to get 60% off today. Live a better digital life with WebRoot because peace of mind shouldn't be optional.
A prominent genetic testing company is settling a major case brought by a bipartisan coalition of 43 state attorneys general.
23andMe has agreed to pay out $18 million to settle a case over a data breach that exposed the personal genetic information of nearly 7 million people. Much of that data wound up for sale on the dark web, putting people at risk of being hacked or having their identities stolen. The settlement also includes requirements for the company to implement stricter data privacy measures. 23andMe filed for bankruptcy last year and was eventually sold to a nonprofit created by 23andMe's former CEO. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
An attorney for E. Jean Carroll says she's received more than $5 million as part of a civil judgment paid by Donald Trump.
3 years after a jury found Donald Trump liable for sexually abusing and defaming E. Jean Carroll, her lawyer on Tuesday confirmed she received more than $5.6 million from the president. Trump has long fought to challenge the jury's finding, including unsuccessfully asking the Supreme Court to intervene, but a judge last week ordered that the money be transferred to Carroll after Trump fully exhausted his appeals. Carroll is still owed an additional $83 million from Trump for a separate defamation judgment, though Trump continues to appeal that case. Peter Haralambous, ABC News, New York.
Dangerous flooding continuing to impact hard-hit communities in the Southwest. More rain on the way in Texas. Some areas are bracing for up to 6 more inches of rainfall Thursday. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Of all the wireless companies in America, only one has 5 stars in every category from Consumer Reports, and that company is Pure Talk. Coverage, support, value, data. 5 stars across the board. Plus, no service contracts and no cancellation fees. Just phenomenal U.S. customer service on a crazy fast 5G network. Dial pound 250, say micro, and switch to a 5-star American wireless company that won't let you down. Pure Talk.
You are not your diagnosis.
A medical chart is not your identity.
And vision loss does not define you.
Your drive shows who you are.
And you are not alone.
Because we are driven too.
To be a beacon of strength.
A champion of courage.
An advocate for hope.
You are not alone.
Because we are stronger together.
We drive the research for the cures we are finding.
We're fighting macular degeneration,
retinitis pigmentosa,
Usher syndrome,
and the entire spectrum of blinding retinal diseases.
We fund.
We fight.
We win.
We
are
the foundation fighting blindness.
Together, we are fighting blindness.
Join the fight at fightingblindness.org.
WPHT, HD, WOGL, HD3, Philadelphia. From the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. Now, The Drive at 5. 30 minutes of non-stop talk. From Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
5:06, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Casey Bartholomew. I'll be with you until 6. Stick around after the news at 6. That's when you get Rich Zioli. Give us a call. 855-839-1210. That's 855-839-1210. Now, before the news break, we were talking about roadkill. There was a story out. So many people are eating roadkill these days. And it's not a statement on the economy. That's how many people eat roadkill. And so they decided to issue guidelines and such so that people didn't eat bad roadkill. Because, you know, I guess there's a class level of roadkill. But Don called in and wanted to chime in on that before we get into anything else. Don in South Jersey, you're on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT with Casey. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine. I'm always fine. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Listen, just a quick side. Your show, I love your show, man. You are always seem to be spot on.
I'm a genius. My mom said so.
It's not scripted, right? This is just you.
You think somebody would say this stuff on purpose?
No, that's the genius of it. It flows. You're constantly flowing, constantly something.
I'm like a rapper. I've got a poetic flow, and I can drop science on you. No, that's just the way I am. I'm icy fresh.
So, my roadkill story. If this happened, it only happened one time, but I heard you talking about it. I thought, maybe I'll call in.
Okay.
I grew up in central Pennsylvania in a little town called Huntington. It's by Altoona State College, where Penn State University is out that way.
Okay.
And there's not a lot of money back in those days. You know, my family, there was like 7 of us total. And hunting season season was a big deal for us. Because everybody could get a license, and then everybody could get a deer. And then we had meat for some time. And I liked venison anyway.
Okay. But that's hunting. These are dead animals that were hit by cars or died somehow on the side of the road that people are just scooping up, and they got their victuals.
And this happened back in, I think it was like 1976, 77. I just got out of high school. I was like, 18, 19. It was a Saturday night. I had an old Ford Econoline van, and it had a standard floor in it. There was no fancy carpet or anything. It was a utility van that I was eventually going to make into one of those shaggin' wagons, whatever they call them.
Sure. If the vans are rocking, don't come knocking.
That's it, sir.
Yeah.
So myself and about 4 other friends were driving along one Saturday night. There was some alcohol involved back then. And the car in front of us, 10 car lengths in front of us, if that, hit a deer. And it, knocked it right onto the shoder. And they
your
kept
mouth
going.
just started watering, right?
So I kind of roll up and stop, and we're all looking at each other. It's like, dude, it's fresh. The guy just hit it. So we tossed it in the van, and we went to a friend's house who had the proper hooks they had a garage under the house.
Mm-hmm.
It was like I forget it. I don't know if it was a bi-level or whatever, but out there the houses are built on hills, so the garage had hooks in it for hanging deer, for gutting and skinning.
Deer or people who ask too many questions, one of those things.
Well, we tried to be nice, and the society wasn't as completely out of control like it is now back then.
Mm-hmm.
So we roll up to my friend Mark's house. We get it in there and hang it up. And then he was good at, gutting it and dressing it, skinning it. And then like a couple days later, he had butchered it up, and we split it up, and there you go.
And did anybody make like a human suit out of the deer flesh and wear that? Okay. Because I'll be honest with you, what you were describing was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre just with a deer. So that's...
well, we weren't wearing masks.
No, you were wearing people. You were wearing flesh. Look, I guess... It's not something I would do. I do not have that skill set. But if you saw it get hit by a car and you just wanted to take that and go for it, I guess that's the only scenario by which I can wrap my mind around eating roadkill. But if you're, tell me. If you ever drove by and saw an animal on the side of the road and you don't know how long it was there, do you ever check it out? I don't know, give it the sniff test, anything like that? No? Okay,
No,
there you go.
No, because I used to jog a lot way back. and you would see different animals along the side of the road.
Yeah.
And most of the time it's a hot day. You go running by, there's maggots everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
The
Maggots
only
are
reason we
protein.
took that deer is we saw it.
Okay.
I've never looked at anything else along the road going, that looks tasty. Where's the salt and pepper?
I didn't even cook it. I just started eating. See, that's the problem. I think, like I said, that's the only way that I would even thought about it, right? That's the only way I would have even considered it, and I couldn't do those things. But if I would even consider it, if I was with people and we saw the deer and they took they had, a murder torture dungeon in the basement of their house and they decided to chop it up. But other than that, like I said, the younger kids, these rural kids that my wife works with, I think they're actually seeing a squirrel on the side of the road and maybe feeling to steal if it's still warm, something like that. That's creepy weird.
If you want to take that chance, now listen, after we got that deer into the garage and hooked up, I had to get down to the local car wash and wash out the van. Now there I am, like
because
2 o'clock in the morning. 2 o'clock in the morning at the local car wash, just wondering where the local county bounty is. The local police department.
Because you're watching blood and hair and hair fragments out of the back of your car. Yeah, sure.
Yes, yeah, and there's a bit of alcohol in my breath, and I was under 21. So, yeah, come get me.
Yeah, that sounds like the beginning of a lot of horror movies I've seen. But hey, man, if it works for you, Don.
Just that one time, but I thought I would share that.
Sure, no, that's great. That's a fantastic story.
I love your show, man.
I appreciate it, Don. Thank you so much. I'll be on again next week, so check that out, Don. Thanks for calling Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. When he was talking about, my friend has a basement that has hooks for hanging deer, I was just like, I could think Leatherface and that entire situation. That's just what I got. Okay. Okay. Nothing I'd do, but okay. All right. That was a great story. It's 5:14. You're listening to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. I'm Casey Bartholomew. I wanted to get to this because it's something that for my entire life people have bitched and moaned about. All right. It's daylight saving time, spring forward, fall back, whatever you want to do. And people have always said, a lot of people have said, we need to pick one and go with it. If it were me, I'd pick standard time. I like it when it gets dark earlier. I like it when it gets dark. I like it because I sleep easier, and then, so that doesn't, and then it's lighter earlier, so that doesn't faze me in the least. But there's a push right now to go to permanent daylight saving time, and it's about to be voted on this week in the House. And there is widespread support for it in the Senate, and Trump is a big advocate for it. But the U.S. does appear to be on the verge of taking another step toward making daylight saving time permanent, a potentially promising sign for dozens of states. The House could vote this week on the Sunshine Protection Act, a move that could end the twice-a-year hell of changing the clocks. I should point out, by the way, like I said, I don't care. I've always just wanted us to pick one and go with it. I don't like spring forward, fall back. This is what time it is. If in the future, because of planetary movement, alien attack, too much drug use, whatever the case may be, we need to turn the clocks back or forward for an adjustment, I think we can do that, right? That's okay. But I would like us just to pick one and go with it. I know which one I would prefer. It is not daylight saving time, but that's okay. I'm fine with it. So they voted on this. And I should also say, I collect watches. It's geekier than it sounds. I collect Mickey Mouse watches. So I have the biggest nerd watch. I have about 60 or 70 Mickey Mouse watches. And I wear them all. They're not in display cases. It's not antiques. They're not worth anything. I like them. They make me happy, so I wear them. Which means that twice a year, I have to go through a whole lot of watches and change things. And I don't like that. And I don't like going around my for some reason, we have a lot of big clocks in my house. I don't know why we got there, but we have big clocks, like 3 or 4 of them, and I have to go around and pull them off the wall, and they're heavy. And we changed the battery at that time, and I have to fix all the clocks, and then I have to hang them back up, which I don't know why. So however the nails are, it's a pain in the ass, so I don't like doing it. So I would just want us to pick one, and we could change all the clocks and be happy until I die. But back in May, language from the bill was included in a larger transportation funding package that passed via roll call vote by the House Energy and Commerce Committee. President Trump spoke highly of the bill, saying it'd be a very nice win for the Republican Party. The U.S. has long had a back-and-forth relationship with daylight saving time. Each attempt to make it permanent being rolled back shortly thereafter. Still, Congress and several states have attempted to lock our clocks onto permanent daylight saving time, and that's where we are right now. The the House version would be considered this week in the House, and has already been put forward by a committee, by the way. They get passed 6-4. So there's still some freaks out there that don't want to go along with it. But we could get voted on sometime this week, later this week. And the Sunshine Protection Act would require states to observe year-round daylight saving time unless they exempt themselves before it takes effect. Now, presumably that part of the Sunshine Act refers to Hawaii and the parts of Arizona that do not change their clocks twice a year. Both states observe standard time, the time we observe from November to March year-round. So they do standard time. I would prefer standard time. Like I said, I like it when it gets dark earlier. The argument against it would be that it's going to get the sun won't come out until later in the day, which means kids are going to be waiting at the bus stop in the dark, which is a legitimate concern, and that's why. But I just, like I said, my bigger concern is that we just want to pick one and go with it. Now in Pennsylvania, permanent daylight savings time, with permanent daylight savings time, the latest sunrise. So this would be the absolute latest that the sun would rise and come up in the morning would be 8:20 a.m. That's the latest. But that would be 8:20 in the morning. Most kids go to school before 8:20 in the morning. Now, it wouldn't be pitch black, but it would not be sunny outside. Meaning that your kid potentially, if they take the bus, would be waiting at the bus stop in the dark. And by the way, if you're that concerned about it, I know there's cars driving and seeing the kids and safety and all that kind of stuff. If you're that concerned about it, drive your kid to school. If they're that young and you're that worried about them being at the bus stop, then either wait at the bus stop with them or drive them to school. Figure something out. Takes a village, remember that. So the earliest sunset would be at 5:28 in the evening. So that is the earliest. It would be light until 5:28, and that's the absolute earliest. Under standard time, the latest sunrise would be 7:20 a.m. That means that's the absolute latest. That means there could be a situation where your kids are not waiting for the bus in the dark, and the earliest sunset would be 4:30. Like I said, I prefer standard time. Even I'm willing to admit that that is something that sounds a little early. We have observed permanent daylight saving time before on multiple occasions, and it was not as widely appreciated. Health and sleep experts also argue that permanent standard time is better for us because, again, it's darker longer, we sleep longer. That's, I guess, the mindset there. My feeling is that I don't care. I want one. I don't care which one it is. I want them to pick one time and go with it. So I wanted to ask you, and I would like to hear your take on this. And again, I'm not arguing a side. I have a preference, but I just want us to pick one. It has never made sense to me that we have to change the clocks back and forth and back and forth and back and forth twice a year. It seemed a little controlling. It just seemed like something that they were doing to do. Now, I know there's legitimate reasons for it. During wartime, there were concerns, and then later on it became because of schooling and those concerns, and that's all super terrific and good and well. I just want a time. Just pick a time, and then we go with it. And you're really concerned about like smaller kids waiting at the bus stop. Maybe we can adjust the clocks to where they start school later. They get a little extra sleep out that internet. I don't know. See, I'm a problem solver, and I'm trying to solve the problem for you. So I would like to hear if you would like us to go to year-round daylight saving time, because that is a reality that could be coming. This isn't just because a lot of times we'll talk about this. And by the way, the number here, 855-839-1210, you want to chime in. Twice a year. I guess it's May, spring forward, and November, fall back. Twice a year, there's always that, we should just pick, I'm tired of doing it. People get aggravated and annoyed. We're away from it right now. We're in the clear. We're in the sweet spot where we're not changing our clocks anytime. The next time is going to be, July, August, September, October, November, 4 months from now. I have to look at my hand and count my fingers. 4 months from now. So if we pass it right now, if we get in the House, which looks like they're going to pass, by the way, got out of committee, and it looks like it has fairly broad, not universal, but fairly broad support in the House. It'll get to the Senate, and in the Senate, it has fairly broad support in the Senate. If it gets voted on by both of them, Trump supports it, and he said he would sign it. So it could be a thing where we never, ever, ever have to touch the clocks again. We'll have to figure. I guess the like I'm reading the arguments against it, and the only legitimate one is kids waiting at the bus stop. Yeah, okay. I think there's workarounds for that, right? I realize not everybody can wait with their kids at the bus. If they're that young and you're that worried about them, maybe you need to make better life choices. But that's just my thought. But I realize that not everybody can wait at the bus with their kid. I know that that is a thing. Okay, I realize that not everybody can drive their kid to school. I know that that is a thing. If we've got kids who are that young, again, I think there's an easy fix for that. Through the schools, you start an hour later. Instead of dragging the kids into school at a time where they're going to be standing at the bus stop in the dark and in the winter in the cold, that's a thing, then maybe you just start the school an hour later, and then the kids get in there, and we can all adjust and rework our schedules. We'll have time to figure that all out. But that seems like a legitimate thing. That seems like a legitimate fix for any problems that anybody might have, right? Then we'll get the later sunshine, which I don't like. I don't like sunshine. I like the fall. I like the winter. I like when it's chilly outside. I don't like the heat. So that's why I would like that. But either way, again, I just want one. I just want us to pick one. That's it. So we can get it together and we can have the vote. So if we went, or would you support, because they're going to vote on it this week. Got out of committee, so it'll probably be voted on this week. If we got it voted on, permanent daylight saving time, it would then go to the Senate. Would you like that to be a thing? Or just one, but permanent daylight saving time, because that's where we're at. 855-839-1210 is the number here. That's 855-839-1210. Now, roughly 20 states have state-level bills regarding permanent daylight saving time that were introduced this year. All of them failed to pass. Several states also introduced legislation calling for permanent standard time. One of those states is Pennsylvania. I'm with you. I'm here. I am on board with that. Permanent standard time in Pennsylvania. The problem with it, I mean, all the states are doing it, right? And the problem with states trying to, that's why it never goes through. I don't think it could, by the way, legally. But the problem with an individual state doing it, let's say Pennsylvania passed it, right? We had permanent standard time, and a border state like New Jersey didn't. Then you would have a weird thing where you could be standing in almost exactly the same place, and it would the time difference would be an hour like that. Right there. You could have people going to school or going somewhere right across, like literally 2 seconds away, and it would be an hour time difference, and that would create confusion. I think these state level bills are done mainly to show support, right? They're done mainly so that you can say, hey, we would like this, and then it's seen at the higher level that more states like this. I don't know if we'll ever get permanent standard time. Daylight saving seems to be the one. It seems to be where people are going. Several states, like I said, on top of Pennsylvania, there's Michigan, California, New Jersey, Massachusetts. All of those still remain alive in their respective legislative sessions. I haven't heard anything about them in Pennsylvania or Jersey, so I don't know. 19 states. Alabama, Colorado, Delaware. Delaware's a state? I'll be damned. Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Louisiana, Maine, Minnesota, Mississippi, Montana, Oklahoma, Oregon, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Washington, and Wyoming have already passed legislation to make daylight saving time permanent should Congress allow the move. And that's what it comes down to. It's a should Congress allow the move situation. So if Congress votes for it and allows it, that we're already, these states are already locked in to where they can go ahead and do it. I just, again, want us to pick one. We can't seem to come out. It's like, okay, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 20 state level bills for permanent daylight saving time. 19 states have passed these bills for permanent daylight saving time. And you've got a small smattering of states who would like standard time. Based on the way everything's going, those are the states that are not going to win. Those are the states that are going to have an issue when it comes down to it. But are you like me? Do you just want us to pick one? Because I'm tired of changing clocks. The other big concern I heard outside of the kids being at the bus stop in the dark. Again, that's legitimate. This other one is not legitimate. Fire prevention people. You're supposed to change the battery in your smoke detector every time you change the clocks. You're supposed to go to it and change all the batteries. I don't know how many people do that. I wouldn't want any of my fire prevention friends to hear this, but I've actually multiple times taken the battery out of my smoke detector, which I will pay for one day maybe. I don't think any of them don't have batteries now. But sometimes they're so close and they go off so often that it is bothersome because sometimes I'm just cooking. Sometimes I like my toast and my bagels to be particularly dark. So I'll cook them for a long time at a high setting, and that causes that to go off. So maybe you could just set something in your phone. Maybe you could just set an alarm or a reminder in your phone every 6 months to change the battery. And again, there you go. Here I am solving problems. I like that. So 855-839-1210 is the number here. That's 855-839-1210. The House is going to vote probably this week. It's gotten out of committee, but it's probably by 6-4 vote, I think. So you're probably going to get to vote on it. They're probably going to get to vote on it this week. Permanent daylight saving time. No more changing of the clocks. Would you like that to be a thing? We'll take your phone calls coming up and get some other stuff as well. My name is Casey Bartholomew. It is 5:30. You're listening to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Free speech lives here. With Rich Zioli. Weeknights at 6. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. After 15 years and over 50,000 cancellations, I can tell you with confidence, we know how to get you out of your timeshare. Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit guide absolutely free with all your options for cancellation. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-738-9900. That's 800-738-9900. 800-738-9900.
Dawn Stensland here. There's a feeling that comes with driving a Mercedes-Benz. A feeling of confidence, craftsmanship, and arriving exactly where you belong during the Mercedes-Benz Welcome Home celebration. Discover exceptional offers on a selection of new vehicles, including the GLC and GLE SUVs. The Welcome Home celebration happening now. Mercedes-Benz of Westchester, Wilmington, and Atlantic City. YazAutoGroup.com, PIAZZA. Tell them Dawn sent you.
When you go on vacation, does it make sense to have someone else pack for you? Of course not. The same can be said for your retirement. Your 401k could be packed with things you don't know about or even need. If you're close to retirement but don't have a plan customized to your goals, that's kind of like taking a 30-year vacation with no idea what's in your suitcase. Seems like a stressful way to start what should be a relaxing time. Jim Cipriotti and the Retire Ready Financial Group can help you unpack your savings and build a plan to help reduce future taxes, along with a clearly defined income strategy. Call Jim at 610-894-7415 for your complimentary retirement game plan, or visit retirereadyfg.com. That's 610-894-7415.
Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC, NPN number 2083768.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
You don't need another opinion, just the facts.
What caused that crash on the Schuylkill? Will it rain before the kids' game? What happened at the school board meeting last night?
At KYW News Radio, we don't take sides. We take notes, delivering the information you need to make the best decisions for your family.
The news you need whenever you need it.
Depend on KYW News Radio, Philadelphia's most trusted news leader for more than 60 years.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
At Susan G. Komen, we believe that ending breast cancer needs all of us working together. Because if you've just been diagnosed and don't know where to turn, we've got you. If you can't afford the treatment you need, we've got you. And if you are driven to honor the loved one you've just lost, we have a place for you here because of you. We're supporting those who need help today while tirelessly searching for tomorrow's cures. Visit Komen.org and be a part of our Susan G. Komen community today.
Broadcasting live from the Piazza Auto Group studios. Experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
.535. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Casey Bartholomew. I'll be with you until 6 o'clock. That'll be when Rich Zioli comes on. 855-839-1210 is the number here. That's 855-839-1210. Before the break, we were talking about daylight saving time. It might become permanent. It got out of a committee in the House. It's going to, by a vote of 6-4, it's going to be voted on later this week, they think. And that could get it out of the House. There's wide support for it in the Senate. Trump supports it, so he'd sign it. The days of turning clocks back, springing forward, and falling back may be over. Now, again, the argument. Oh, so you left me sitting here looking like an idiot. Oh, well, there you go. See, so that's passed. So that means it's going to the Senate. You know, you could have said something. I was sitting right here. You didn't have to make me look stupid. I don't need your help. So anyway, okay, so the House passed it. It's done. The House has passed it, and there's wide support for it in the Senate. Now, we have to wait for the Senate to vote on it, but I don't know what they're going to wait for. Mitch McConnell to get out of the hospital? Who knows? But either way, so if it gets through the Senate now, it could be a realistic thing. And so I want to know if you want us to go permanent daylight saving or just one. I don't even care which one, just one. 855-839-1210. Let's go to Cindy in Delaware County. Cindy, you're on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT with Casey. Go ahead. She hung up. I was done with that topic. And I just stuck with it because she was calling in. Everybody's out to get me today. That's okay. Cindy says she liked changing her clocks twice a year, which means that Cindy lives in a padded room because that's ridiculous. All right, enough fun. 5:37 now. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. After a Pennsylvania Supreme Court issued an opinion regarding second-degree murder. I never liked the degrees of murder. I think murder is murder. And that's the end of it. I don't know why we come up with degrees of it. I can look at the punishment phase of it, but murder's just murder. But anyway, after the Pennsylvania Supreme Court issued an opinion regarding second-degree murder, hundreds of convicted murderers could be released if lawmakers don't do something about it. Attorney General Dave Sunday said. Sunday's pleading with Pennsylvania lawmakers as another deadline nears that could pose a public safety threat. We are going to have hundreds of murderers released. That would be a public safety threat, by the way. That would absolutely be a public safety threat if we had hundreds of murderers relieved. Earlier this year, the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania stated that life sentences for those convicted of second-degree murder, commonly called felony murder, are unconstitutional. Where does it say that? Are they like state constitution or? Because does it say that, we can't put murderers in jail for life? Is that what it says? Most of these people, by the way, second-degree murders, a lot of that is plea bargaining. A lot of that is people who got a deal because they didn't want to go through the whole rigmarole of court cases. So not all of these people are just innocently hurt, just there. These people are people who killed other human beings, and that's problematic. Now, the ruling goes into effect on July 24th, meaning that in just a couple of weeks, we could have, and the idiots in the legislature have already gone home. So I don't know if they can come back or do anything, but we could have convicted murderers released, hundreds of convicted murderers released. And again, a lot of these people are people who made plea deals and actually just got out of it. But we're going to take your phone calls on this. But people are calling about the time change. So Cindy called back. So let's go ahead and put her on. Then we'll get to the murder thing. Cindy, you're on WPHT with Casey. Go ahead. She hung up again. Bitch. Sorry, did I say that part out loud? I'm sorry. I'm trying to accommodate people when they call in. All right, let's go to Don in Franconia. Don, you're on WPHT with Casey. Go ahead.
Thanks for taking my call, Casey.
Thanks for hanging on.
Talking about daylight savings time.
Yes.
I'm afraid that if we don't vote for that, they're going to go the other way and vote for standard time 12 months of the year. And it's already.
I like that.
First of all, a lot of people have things they like to do in the summertime when they get home from work, and that would curtail a lot of that because it would be getting dark too damn early.
I don't care. I don't like going outside. I'm an indoor cat. So I would prefer, look, I'll take either one. I prefer standard time. There's actually a bill in Pennsylvania where they are looking for standard time. They're looking to stay on standard time in Pennsylvania, and it's still pending. But most of the country, I think, would prefer what you're talking about, daylight saving time. So you would get the extra, the extra daylight to go and do, I don't know what people do outside, whatever you want to do, you know.
Well, there's a lot of athletic activity that takes place outside at nighttime, softball games.
Lights.
I mean, there's a lot of that good
lights.
stuff.
I played softball under the lights. They can turn the lights on.
If you have them.
Okay, see, that's what you got to do if you want to have daylight saving time. And again, that's the one that's going to pass, Don. That's the one you're going to get. So you're good, promise. They just passed the House like 10 minutes ago, they said, so it's already out of the House.
Actually, it would benefit me if it did get dark earlier, because then I'd have an equal opportunity against the opposition. I'm not that good, so if it's dark for both of us, I guess.
You don't play, actually. You play, what do you play, softball?
I used to. Let's put it that way.
You know, old fat drunk guy softball leagues, right? It's no shame. I did it too. But
let's put it this way. At my current age of 85, I don't think I'm a softball player anymore, although there are some people that do it.
Age is a state of mind. Unless you get too old to play softball, then I don't know why you leave. I don't know why you get out of bed.
The other thing you were talking about earlier, about they were thinking about releasing someone who had killed somebody because the gentleman was 70-something years old.
Oh, wow. You've been listening all day. You need to get out. You're talking about that sunlight. You need to get out of your house. I talked about that to start the show, I think.
I thought I'd bring that up because of the time change.
Yeah.
But at my age, I got a few people I wouldn't mind getting rid of if they're going to let me.
Well, okay. See now, okay. You were only half listening. You have to be a convicted murderer, so in order to get rid of it, so you don't just get to bring elderly people down to the. It's not like Logan's Run where you bring people down that are too old and they just die. Okay, they actually have to have committed a crime, and there has to be a death sentence. You don't just get to pick and choose.
Okay, man. Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay, so I'm glad I could clear that because I don't want you to go out and do anything because you have all this extra daylight now. I got to get me some killing in. Don't do that. All right, Don, thanks for calling Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. You fell off the rails here. Is that what he thought I was talking about? Earlier in the show, we were talking about, and we're not going to get back into it, but earlier in the show, we were talking about how there's a 74-year-old who's going to be executed in Florida tonight. And later this month, I think on the 28th, there's going to be an 80-year-old. And they were like, trying to decide if that's too old. Well, I wasn't. I think the death penalty is what it is. I don't care how old you are. But there's people suggesting that it's too old. And apparently Don was listening and heard that we could just randomly murder elderly people. And that's not, anybody who heard that, that's not what I was talking about. That's not what the topic was. All right, fine. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Oh, the second-degree murder thing. Okay, we're going to have to take a quick break in about a minute here. But when we come back, maybe we'll get back into this. Because in 10 days, because the legislature, to my knowledge, didn't do anything about it. But in 10 days, you could have hundreds of people, if not released. They won't be released in mass. Murder rate will go up. But they'll be eligible for release from prison because the Supreme Court in Pennsylvania determined that life sentences for second-degree murder are unconstitutional. So these people, these murderers, and again, there are hundreds of them, these murderers could have the opportunity to get out of jail. Parole, I don't know how they'd look at it. They'd probably look at some and see how long they stayed in line. But hundreds of murderers could be released from prison. Because for some reason, and I've not read this in the Constitution, maybe I'm wrong, but I've not read this, but for some reason, it's naughty and unconstitutional to require murderers to spend the rest of their life in jail. That's weird to me. We'll get into that. If you want to chime in, I guess on anything, because that's the way it's going right now. 855-839-1210. I'm Casey Bartholomew. It's 5:45. You're listening to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at EnduranceWarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission. $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-453-2609. 800-453-2609. That's 800-453-2609.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dawn Sensland here. Summer's the season for fresh starts, and nothing transforms your home like a brand new kitchen. Since 1979, Kitchen Magic in Nazareth, PA has been a family business built on high quality and true craftsmanship, and they're making it easier than ever. Save 40% on installation plus flexible financing to fit any budget. KitchenMagic.com. Make this the summer your kitchen finally gets the upgrade it deserves. Tell Dawn sent you.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This year, America celebrates 250 years. 2.5 centuries of courage, sacrifice, and family stories passed down from one generation to the next. Hi, I'm Nick Mako.
And I'm Adam Baselogger, founders of Legacy Box. Your family's piece of the American story is sitting in an attic or closet right now, trapped on aging VHS tapes, camcorder tapes, film reels, and fading photos.
Those boxes hold moments you can never recreate. Your wedding day, your children's voices when they were little, grandparents coming back to life on screen.
Over 2 million families have trusted Legacy Box. And we've just partnered with the USO to digitize fragile handwritten letters from World War II, helping preserve American history for future generations.
As America turns 250, remember that your family is a part of the American story. Preserving those voices, faces, and moments is a part of your responsibility to the next generation. Don't let them disappear on your watch.
Visit legacybox.com/radio for our amazing America 250 sale. That's legacybox.com/radio to save.
Now, you can listen to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
.549 Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Casey Bartholomew. Be with you for the next few minutes until 6 o'clock. Stick around after 6, and that will be when Rich the Only comes on. 855-839-1210 is the number here. That's 855-839-1210. All right. I think we've shored things up here on the show, just near the end here. We didn't do it for the rest of the show, but just near the end here. I want to get into this just because I want you to know about it. And again, I said this before, but I want to reiterate this because we kind of got thrown off track there a little bit. There's a ruling that goes into effect on July 24th. That's in 10 days. Pennsylvania Supreme Court issued an opinion regarding second-degree murder. Hundreds of convicted murderers could be released if they don't do anything about it. That's what Attorney General Dave Sunday said. He was pleading with Pennsylvania lawmakers to do something about it. Essentially, what's going to happen is they ruled that life sentences for anybody convicted of second-degree murder is unconstitutional. Murder is murder. That's the word means what it means. Now, I'm willing to talk about punishment, I guess, but only to the degree of execution or sucking back air. If you murdered somebody, that's it. In my mind, that's it. You're done. And it appears that the state of Pennsylvania is about to be inundated with lots of really awful humans. Lots of really, really bad human beings. Not human beings, murderers, so not human beings. But either way. And like I said before the break, my biggest concern about this, one, is I don't think anybody who's convicted of any crime that has the word murder in it should be released from prison ever. Maybe we can talk about degrees of prison. I don't know. But, and like I said, the difference for me would be first-degree murder is death. Second-degree murder is there's your life sentence. That's what it is. Attempted murder, there's your life sentence. Just because you didn't succeed doesn't mean you shouldn't get all the benefits and privileges thereof being a murderer. I do not care about you. But I do not like the idea of releasing these people because, like I said before the break, you get second-degree murder, manslaughter, I guess, different. But second-degree murder, you're talking about people who, in a lot of cases, not all cases, but in a lot of cases, have pled down. Because, okay, this is the crime you committed. You decapitated an entire family of tourists from South Dakota. And because South Dakota people are annoying, we're going to get you, if you'll agree to the plea, you life in prison for second-degree murder. And they talk to their lawyers and they say, okay, I'd rather keep living. And then they go forward. And that's the kind of stuff that happens. Not in every case. Not in every case. But in a lot of cases, that does, in fact, happen. Now, a bipartisan bill, SB 1400, passed the state Senate and would have put new sentencing structure in place for second-degree murder convictions. It also provide a process for parole consideration. I don't think you should get parole. Again, if the word murder is in your conviction anywhere, I guess unless it's your name, but then you shouldn't get parole at all. You should stay locked up in jail. But it provides the process for parole consideration. That bill was introduced by Senator Lisa Baker, a Republican. It passed the Senate last week by a vote of, passed the Senate on June 25th by a vote of 30 to 50. Now, SB 1400 placed a new sentencing structure with a mandatory 35-year prison sentence with offender-specific exceptions. It would also set up a parole board process for those currently serving these sentences, including a victim participation process. For murder? Isn't the victim dead? Maybe the family. Maybe something like that would be the case. Okay, either way, I don't know everything, so maybe that's the situation going on there. It was sent to the PA House, and it's just sitting in the Judiciary Committee right now, and that's where we're at. And I can't, and again, that's where we are. That's where we're sitting right now. That we have a situation where hundreds of people who committed murder, not first-degree murder, not first-degree premeditated, but you got hundreds of people in prison in the state of Pennsylvania right now as we speak who are on the... Now, they're not all going to be... Really, they're not going to open gates, and you're not going to see a bunch of murderers roaming the streets just hacking people up. I mean, I hope. I don't think that's how they're going to do it. But you're going to have people who are now suddenly able and available to be released under new sentencing guidelines. And some of these people might have hit whatever number they need to hit. And the bill that would require 35 years, but still, that allows for parole and the possibility of getting out of jail. And again, I'm not somebody, and respect the laws as they are. I don't have to agree with them, but I am not somebody who believes that anybody who committed any crime with the word murder in it should ever be released in any way, shape, or form from prison. Ever, ever, ever. But this does it. 35 years is a good amount of time, I guess, unless you're like 20, because I don't like the idea of 55-year-olds getting out because they're still fully capable of murdering more people. And I'm not a big, hey, I forgive you and all the sins that you committed kind of guy. I'm a very much a crime and punishment kind of guy. But that's what we're looking for. Now, criminal homicide, which is what the second-degree murder is designated a second-degree murder when it's committed while the defendant was a principal or an accomplice in committing robbery, rape, great, we're going to release rapists who killed, or deviant sexual intercourse by force or threat of force, arson, burglary, or kidnapping. So you committed, you were there, you were the principal, so you were the murderer, or somebody who is just kind of around or acting as an accomplice for somebody else who committed all these heinous and horrible crimes, and that's second degree. Again, see, I don't like that. We overcomplicate our criminal justice system so much. It would be so easy to put a bunch of these jackasses behind bars and leave them there. I know the bleeding hearts would cry softly to themselves every night, but now we're going to have somebody who was an accomplice when a murder was committed in the process of committing rape, and these guys got a deal, and now they're all going to be released. Or could be released early, and that don't make sense to me in any way, shape, or form. All right, we are all done. I want to thank everybody for listening and calling in today. I'll also be back next week, I think next Thursday and Friday, something like that. Anyway, we'll talk about that then. My name is Casey Bartholomew. Rich Zioli is next, 5:57 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to Supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At Supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to Supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's Supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think